Howdy folks, welcome to Adventures in Alberon Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening, and joining me are my friends Vincent, Hannah, Kara, Olive is joining us as a special guest tonight, and Alana. Matt is away in the faraway exotic city of Las Vegas, and Tina's not feeling so well tonight, so hopefully we'll have our friends back, but right now, Olive filling in for a character that will reveal itself later. We are going to play D&D tonight, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. First of all, we have a website at alberonrpg.com. That website has a bunch of information about this campaign and our Starfinder campaign, which is Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We played last night. That's going to re-air on YouTube at alberonrpg on Sunday. And then we have an Instagram, AlberonRPG. That is the @one, at AlberonRPG. Right now, there's nothing on the table, which is actually pretty rare. Not even like a little snack on there. But
we just cleaned up.
We did, yeah, it's very, very nice. But normally there's encounter maps, there's handouts, things like that. You can see them in much greater detail at AlberonRPG. And with that, we can get started with this week's session of Adventures in Alberon. And we're back. So let me just shift the music real quick and I'll get us into our recap here. All right. Wandering Hearts, last we played, you found yourselves at the edge of a campsite from a different group of adventurers who seemed to be in the middle of a long rest. You engaged them in combat after Ori caught one of their eye, or actually not Ori caught one of their eye, but managed to find themselves in the path of the oncoming group, who engaged with him almost immediately. You ended up killing the satyr sorcerer and a minotaur barbarian, but the centaur and Goliath escaped to some other
Centaur
end.
did not escape.
Oh, sorry, the centaur didn't escape. That's right. That's right.
Bisected.
Escaped the coils of mortality.
Yeah.
The centaur escaped living.
You did escape that.
Valis, you managed to charm a Herringon and convinced it with a very simple spell to have it track down a bunch of snacks for your new pet dog
Little
and
guy.
hide. This Herringon did so. You learned that these adventurers from this Herringon were compelled by the hags to help them lead other adventurers and people who wander into the woods astray, in a similar manner to perhaps all of you in the very beginning of this adventure. You found at Ori's insistence, you kept the Herringon with you, though you did bind him in certain ways to make him a little bit less effective. You found a gulch, or sort of bottomless chasm, though Minka, lowering themselves down to explore it a little bit more, discovered that it was not quite bottomless, but in fact only about 45 to 50 feet deep, with an illusion placed at the bottom to make it appear quite deep. You found your way to the bottom across a variety of means, some floating down with magic, others using their very mundane means to get down. Some of you went up and down twice to retrieve things that you forgot, or dogs that you forgot.
I forgot. Just changed our minds about.
But eventually, I remember it being forget.
Responsibilities were transferred to Ori.
Roll the tape.
After Valis clanged his way down to the bottom with little guy in tow, you decided to go into this cave. You briefly debated about bringing the Herringon with you as well, but decided to leave them with your treant companion up at the top. All of you entered rolling pretty low on stealth and perception, and as such, with one exception, made your way inside, Ori leading you deeper and deeper into this cave. Minka, I believe it was you who noticed as you made your way into the first larger sort of chamber that Ori had missed a few things. And that's where we begin this evening.
I think Cheshire and I tied. And so the two of us decided to look up when everyone else is looking down.
Yeah.
Because Tina's not here, Cheshire was like, "Oh dang," and like left. No.
Just disapparated.
Cheshire is just kind of murmuring, well, that's dumb.
Cheshire finds the back door that leads around the entire
Right. Always.
So at this moment, you can see Ori has kind of walked in. He's turned around to address all of you with his previous comments, and this is sort of the point where you're all entering into this space. You're underground in this cave itself beneath the Candlestick Forest, and this place primarily, it's actually been a number of different rocks that you've seen. You've seen some sedimentary stuff, a lot of pudding stone. There are elements that hint at things like agate and other volcanic activity. Here, a lot of just gray stone intermixed in places with still just compacted dirt, but this is a place that is not super solid. Minka, make a nature check.
Excellent. Good start. Love making nature checks in caves.
Check.
It is a cool round.
Yeah.
It is a cool rock check on a slightly different scale. That is a 19.
A 19. With a 19, you look up, and as you trace across the crumbling top of this cave, lots of boulders, huge forms of rock over a certain size. This is what's known as a talus cave. Huge chunks of sediment that are really on the scales of hillsides themselves have kind of collapsed through some process and slowly, probably through the erosion that created these pudding stones, pulled out elements of dirt to create these large caves. These caves, not very stable. Especially ones that are young like this. And so just something to bear in mind. You also note that in this space there are a variety of different kind of like still like wet elements, and so there are stalactites and stalagmites here that with any element of light that you are all bringing in with you would cast some shadows that make it a little hard to see too far beyond maybe 60 feet for those of you with dark vision. Although actually, Alina, what's your dark vision?
120 feet.
120 feet.
It's so magical.
Alina, you're seeing everything down here. And you actually see a couple things that your companions do not. First of all, you see Minka's gaze kind of transfixed, but we'll get back to that. You note that off to the right, there is a continuation of this cave that opens up like another sort of cavern or tunnel. Straight ahead, there's another one. So this kind of splits in two. And then with your vision, you can see all the way, almost like dead ahead of you, there's a third, very narrow option. But this sort of splits into three beyond this larger opening within the room itself. But Ori is standing almost in the middle. In an area where he is up against kind of a larger segment of stone, and he's turning around kind of looking at all of you right now. Minka, on the stone that is behind Ori, you do notice that there is very strangely elements of like a carpet lichen or something like that that's hanging off. It almost looks like maybe cloth. And at first, you've been around giants recently, and this strikes you as something on that scale. But all at once, as Ori turns around and makes eye contact with you, you can see his head turns, and like the word "what" begins to form on his mouth. And then a shape drops. And you're familiar with the shape. You've seen something like this before. But let me get a visual perspective.
Hell yes! Lose my mind.
Put your bets in nows. We have ooze, we have evil tapestry, and we have gelatinous cube. Put your votes in now.
What?
Lose the ooze.
It's either ooze, a tapestry, or
It's
gelatinous
100%
ooze.
Red
tapestry. Oh, it's a tapestry. It is a tapestry.
Oh, okay.
They're backwards.
Most enemies that we fight are tapestries in one way or another.
I am so
God,
excited to
Rip
bring back the
Cans.
tapestry bit.
It is a very good bit. Do not get me wrong.
So, you see dropping down this dark leathery shape, although this one, unlike the one that you had seen underwater, this not adapted for that environment, and this one actually significantly more horrifying looking, because unlike the previous one, which had this awful looking face and these tiny little shriveled arms, in addition to that, manta ray-like body, it has the beginnings of a torso kind of hanging loosely from the bottom, underformed limbs and organs that actually hang out itself. But this is a variant of cloaker. And you can see this drops down on top of Ori and grapples him.
Oh.
And all at once.
Man, that's crazy.
And actually, we're going to slow down time really quick. Could everybody place themselves on the board?
Do I have a mini?
Oh,
Do you
not
have
yet.
a minute?
Yes, but not yet.
What you
Okay.
mean not yet?
Because you haven't entered combat yet.
I know.
Give me 1 second.
I assume we're coming from the south, from the north, from the Joe side.
From Joe's side.
Correct.
Okay.
So I think it was. Ori was definitely first.
He was.
So Ori's going to be right underneath that cloaker.
On the ground or
On the ground.
Okay. And grapple-appled.
Propelled.
I believe I was following close after him because I remember retroactively feeling bad because Alina keeps forgetting that Billy is claustrophobic and she just like left her behind.
So I think Billy was the last to enter the
Yeah,
cave.
Billy is trailing.
Okay.
Billy
So
is up.
And you've got little guy. Are you carrying little guy?
No, he's on the ground.
Oh, hell yeah.
so
And then where are you?
Rez is not around, right?
What's that?
I was in the middle
That's
of
my,
the group.
Oh.
So just put me behind Vincent. So Alice and I, yeah.
I said I would
Healer buddies.
keep in the middle 10 feet away from everyone, but if we were... This looks good.
Yeah. So, when are we gonna
Rez
get
got
an armored
shot in the head.
papoose? When are we gonna get the armored papoose for little guy?
Oh, damn.
I said put him in a backpack, but nobody listened to me. Look,
you
this
guys
is
really
this
needed
isn't
an
our
artificer
pet
for
dog.
this.
No, he's just gonna go hide.
And a little sword.
He has very specific
many sessions
instructions
have
should
you had
danger
him?
come. Go hide.
This is like the third session, but this is the first combat.
To be fair, is wearing studded leather armor, which is much higher.
So this is how you guys are all arranged?
All right.
He
All
has a
right.
chance.
He will live.
This creature drops down. It's grappling Ori. So Ori is going to be underneath him. And as you are seeing that, the air shimmers.
Oh no.
No, that's too many.
Oh, my
Joe.
Laura.
That's too many. That one has
What
a
the
face.
ugly stingray mobs.
I hate
I
this.
love that
Pokers.
they're all different colors.
Okay, I do love
That's so that you could tell them apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do apologize. I didn't get a chance to fully paint the other two.
Stop
Stop
it.
it.
But,
For not
at least got
painting
the paint on. You'll be able to see them in much better detail at Alberon RPG on Instagram. And as this collapses down and grabs onto Ori, could everybody roll for initiative, please?
Delightful.
4.
Oh no!
Single digits.
Stop saying, oh no.
Single digits.
Wow.
Joining this combat.
Oh,
Next
that
session.
sucks.
Anybody natural 20? Okay.
Sorry, Colin.
Anybody with a 25 to 20?
Do I count?
No, hold on to yours.
Okay.
Hearts.
You're coming in at initiative 0, or you will become you'll join the game at initiative 0. If you want to join the battle, you can. Okay, so that is 25 to 20, 20 to 15.
17.
Okay. Ooh, love this.
Yikes.
Okay, 15 to 10. 10, 10 to 5. I usually don't have to go here.
Oh my god.
9.
9 for Minka, 8 for Billy.
Maybe the cloakers rolled badly too.
No.
As I said, I'm joining this combat next session at initiative 3.
Oh, hey, that's one higher
Oh my
than last
god.
time.
What is your
Moving on.
mod? Is it
What's a
minus
mod?
4? Yeah, okay. All right.
So the way that this is going to work out,
Okay.
the cloakers are going first, followed by Alina, followed by Minka, followed by Billy, followed by Valis, followed by Olive, and then we'll say for Ori is going to come in at initiative 14, which puts him between Alina and Minka.
I'm gonna send this to Matt, and he's gonna be very upset.
I was very disappointed when I realized that Matt wasn't going to be here for the actual TARP surprise. So as these all drop down one after the other and kind of shimmer into reality around, it's like all of a sudden a mirror is turned and you are just looking at all of these creatures surrounding Ori, although one is grappling them currently. We're going to begin with these cloakers.
Of course. force.
Yeah, because they probably have an initiative over 10.
Yeah,
got
I
over
mean,
17.
Well, that's true. That's true. True.
so you can see this first one is going to just hold onto its grip on Ori. And you see they're going to move one here, one here, and one, yeah, probably right here.
Run away, little guy.
Oh, does little guy get an initiative?
Yes.
I don't know, because he needs to run away and he needs to do so as soon as possible.
Can't hit stuff that's on the initiative. It's a rule.
So actually, let me revise my statement. Little guy's starting us off.
Run away, little guy!
So little guy, as these just appear, these cloakers, and they begin to kind of, this low moan begins to undulate through. He is going to bark and then turn around and kind of run towards Cheshire.
Nice.
Smart boy.
Good boy. Good boy, little guy.
And you watch the cloaker that's over them just goes and just snaps at them. But little guy darts to the left and just out of the way, almost like strikes against the rocks. They're not super dexterous, but then bounces off and makes its way away. Little guy is going to hide. Not well. And so all of you can hear at the end of the turn, little guy just kind of barking from the corner. That is little guy. That is going to bring us to the cloakers. So the cloakers begin to moan, and there is this low undulating sound that at first sounds like it's coming from one of them, and then all of them, and then like it's coming from all of the different tunnels at once. At this point, I would say you are realizing the Talus Cave, little bits are beginning to crumble down, and there are, as it echoes through here, there are certainly like tunnels that go up to the top where these creatures could probably disappear to. But could everybody make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Am I here yet? Do I have to do it?
You do not.
Hell yeah.
Spell effect?
And specifically, you are immune to this. This is not a spell effect.
Minka and Alina gets +3.
Okay.
Thank you. So wisdom, you said?
Yeah.
18.
18, very nice.
Same.
Very nice, that's a success.
13. Is this a charm effect?
This is not a charmed effect.
Okay.
We've talked about wasted natural 20s before.
Oh, no.
That
I mean,
blows.
still pretty good. Okay, so Valis, you're the only one who fails this. Valis, as this moan hits you, it reverberates in you, and at first you feel like your teeth are kind of vibrating in their sockets, but it's not even that. There is something deep within you in a dimension that you're almost not even able to really kind of perceive that is being damaged by this moan. And if you could go ahead, you could take this and subtract 2 from your next attack roll or saving throw.
Oh, okay.
Only 2, rolled low. That is their action.
Sorry. Take.
Keep it up on 2 to remind you.
Yeah, that's just to remind you. Yeah.
I see. Thank you. -2 from my next one or all my future ones?
From your next one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That'd be great if it was all your future ones.
No, it wouldn't, Joe. No, it wouldn't.
Alina, the one in front of you, the tail lashes out. Does a, that's cocked, does a 24 hit.
Sure does.
Alrighty. Alina, as the tail hits you, you are taking 10 points of slashing damage. And as it hits you, it's leathery, but there are these spines that are almost like bones along the back of it that cut into you. And you take 3 points of psychic damage as it almost feels like the tail hits you a second again after. It's almost like there's an echo that follows this creature. And then Valis. Minka, you are going to take an attack for one as well.
Cool.
The one that is immediately behind you whips its tail around, and that is going to be a 22 to hit.
That hits.
You are going to be taking a total of 12 points of slashing damage and 4 points of psychic damage as that hit seems to hit you again right after. That is 2 of them have to do that. So that is all of their actions. That is all that they can do this turn. And that brings us to Alina.
All right. Alina is going to take a step this way. And I understand if what's in your heart is an attack of opportunity. I understand.
Which way are you going?
Just into the middle of these three.
Into the middle. I think probably none of them attacked you on this turn, and so none are going to use their attack on you.
Okay. And then Alina's gonna say, sorry, Valis, and cast Thunderstep.
Nice.
And so...
Am I coming with you?
No, you're making a Constitution saving throw and hopefully not moving further.
Wait, so
It's gonna hurt you if you fail.
It's
Yeah.
it's good. That's why I said sorry.
why'd you move closer to me?
Because I want to get all three of them.
Oh, I see.
Oh, it's a 10-foot. It's a 10-foot.
I see.
Okay.
It was specifically to
I thought
catch only you in the way.
me.
No,
I'm like,
I'm sorry, Boo Boo, but
what's the save?
okay. Constitution saving throw DC 17.
That's gonna be not a fail. Is this a spell?
Yes.
I'll take half damage from it.
Okay. Sorry, that's the love of my life, and still, I have done this. Okay, so the cloakers as well. All three of them need to make a Constitution saving throw DC 17.
They don't.
None of them do.
No.
Right. So that is 4d10 thunder damage.
I mean, they don't have to make it, or they don't make it.
They don't have to make it.
That's what I was
Oh
worried about.
shit! No damage whatsoever.
0 damage.
Damage, that's.
Immune.
You didn't stop me from rolling. I got 2 9s on the die.
Oh, don't worry. They still take an effect on me. How much damage do you?
Oh, and then I pushed all the dice away. I'm just gonna
You said 2 9s. So as you disappear, there is this crack of thunder behind Valis. You are almost
9s
knocked over as this hits you. None of these creatures even react. They are almost completely unaffected by
I'm
this.
so sad. I'm so sorry. And this time when I rolled, I got 3 9s.
Nice, even
Okay.
better.
Is that the
Four.
spell where you could take
Wow.
someone with you and they don't take damage as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you didn't.
But I didn't do
Capture
that.
on the screen. Valis will remember this.
Valis just liked that.
31 halved.
I don't even need to bring my own NPCs.
Oh my
This is
god,
great.
what did I do? I'm so sorry. And then I vanished because I'm a fucking asshole.
Amazing.
And then as I vanished,
Yeah,
I go,
bye.
I don't think thunder damage works!
Oh man, you're revealing my big bad too early. So
I'm gonna come.
you
That was inside
away. That is a huge thunder step. The one that hit Ori, it was surprising. This is like twice as strong, and it almost levels you. But Alina just disappears, and you hear the echo somewhere far off as they appear behind you, about 30 feet.
Just over here.
Yeah.
Can I stand like on? Is
Yeah,
this
yeah. So you are up against the edge. That goes all the way up to the ceiling, which is
Okay.
about 25 feet
But
up.
my little hooves let me
Yeah.
stay. I am so sorry.
Dead.
Do you want to throw an Eldritch Blast at one of your party members?
That's my turn. That's my whole turn.
There we go, Alina.
It was supposed to be worth it.
That brings us to Ori. So Ori, you can see hand around this thing, struggling, trying to pull themselves free. And at the end of their turn, they I actually don't know what their modifier is, but I almost guarantee a 3 on the dice is not going to do it. So
Oh.
yeah, they're if I don't know if Matt's watching, but I would love to know what his save modifiers are.
He is not watching, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate. So, at the moment, Ori continues to take damage, and you watch as it's like the essence from them is being pulled out as it chomps down on the back of their neck. They are sucking something out of Ori. It doesn't seem to be blood as much as it is their vitality. And you would imagine if this creature was damaged, it would be healing itself right now. But that is Ori's turn, and that brings us to Minka. Billy, you're on deck.
So Minka's going to internally observe that Ori has really bad luck with creatures that seem to be able to do this. And then all these creatures would be medium or large?
Large.
Large?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Can't believe I wasted this.
Valis is directly in front of me still, right? So Minka's gonna move forward. Basically, to where Alina was.
Okay.
Before or after the step? Like here?
Yeah,
Okay.
right there. And then she's going to cast Aura of Vitality.
Okay.
So it's a 30-foot, and I can choose to use my bonus action to cause a creature in the aura to regain 2d6 hit points.
Very nice.
So I'm going to cast that, and I believe we've rolled that on the first cast of a continuous healing spell. I can use the +4.
Correct.
And then pass that.
Yep.
Yeah. So my action is going to be to cast that. My bonus action is to go. Can I assess between Ori and Valis to see who looks more injured?
Probably not.
Okay. So I'll do Valis because he just got hit in the face really hard, and that seems to be an unfortunate thing. And we are very surrounded.
Nobody understands friendly fire like Minka does. If there's anyone Alina doesn't feel judged by, it's Minka.
Yeah, it's like there's a deep found guilt in seeing. So,
What type of damage was it again?
so
Okay.
that's a total of 10 healing to Valis. So that was some movement, action, bonus action, and I believe. And I'm just gonna hunker down right here.
And you maintain that aura, right?
Correct.
Okay,
It's
so
a concentration.
you begin to glow in a different way than your starlight. This is just the skin itself almost beginning to become luminous. And in this space, these little motes of energy float off and begin to heal Valis in particular. That's your turn.
Yep.
How much was the healing again?
10.
That brings us to Billy. Valis, you're on deck.
Right.
Sort of. You're technically next, but like, it's way far down there.
Billy's going to go directly behind Valis.
Yeah.
And draw sword as she's running, and cast Green Flame Blade and attack you, the bright color, beautiful one.
Make your attack roll.
There's two.
I would say that there are two.
Yeah.
The teal
bright
one.
Super bright.
I
It is
like
quite
the
beautiful.
pale blue one. That's my
One is raging. The one that is closest to Vincent is Raging Sea, and the one that is closest to the dark cloaker in the back is Pastel Sea Foam. I think it's called.
So yeah,
What was that roll?
Tan.
That's a miss, unfortunately. Draws back. The fire seems to make it draw away, but doesn't hit.
Billy's going to Hexblade's Curse the teal one and move the remaining amount of movement. She has grand total of 30.
It doesn't work.
what?
I can't move?
No, Hexblade's Curse doesn't work.
Oh my god.
No! I have that only once per
Yeah. We are just wasting resources here.
Somewhere far away, Sir
scared for
Nunos
you.
is like, oh, man, these guys. But yeah,
Olive,
it
for
just seems to
context,
not lock in.
we're in an area where we can't sleep or like will get got. So
Okay.
Hurt.
I'm
Hurt.
just gonna move to the other side of this goddamn motherfucker.
Okay,
I
This
want
one?
to get as close to giving Valis flanking as I can.
you run around behind it. This creature still seems focused on Valis, doesn't try to strike or react in any way. Anything else, Billy?
Kicks the dirt as she's running and just.
Free action. It hurts your toe a little bit, though. That is your turn, Billy. That brings us to Valis. Valis, this creature focused on you. It like strikes you with the tail. And what do you want to do?
First of all, I lose this because I failed the saving throw with it.
you go.
But extra failed, I should say.
Nice.
Do I know why these creatures don't seem to be affected by magic? Like, how do they look
If you want
compared
to
to
use your action to make an Arcana check, you can consider it.
How do these creatures look compared to each other?
They all look roughly the same. None have taken damage, and so one facing you, seeming to like start to attack you. They're all slightly different looking, kind of in the way that they are there. Yeah, I mean, hard to make a lot of variants. You haven't met a lot of cloakers.
Joe's forcing us to take a short
Action check on why magic doesn't seem to be affecting these.
Make an Arcana check.
That's so brave and bold.
Let's
Valis.
see. 18.
18. it's not a magical thing. Everything that you've seen so far, you have not seen magic. This is something else. You're not sure what this is. Your experience with things like this is almost non-existent. This is maybe a spell-like ability, but even that feels weird. With an 18, you've heard tales of individuals who are able to manifest powers in other ways than just the weave. People have all these supernatural things. They're possessed by ghosts. They're psychic. They're superpowered. But these are just stories, perhaps. That being said, if it is something like a spell-like ability, it probably has rules that it has to operate by.
Okay.
That's your action.
All right. I am going to move back here.
With that 18, as you move back there, you also do not provoke an attack of opportunity, and that registers to you as interesting, as nobody has provoked an attack of opportunity.
I yell to the group, get the one on Ori, and then I will... I think the rest of these might be phantoms. And then I will... What will I do from here? Because now I'm back here, and the thing is so far away.
You used your action. You used your free action. What are you going to do? You got a bonus
I
action?
do have a bonus action, and I have a thing that lets me use my bonus action.
Yeah.
Oh. Action economy.
But I don't know if it's worth
It's a spell.
it to use it at this time, so...
Resource strength. Lots of these encounters are resource strength.
I'm gonna save it then. And then
Strength song.
I'm just gonna move through. I try to move through this guy.
Okay.
1, 2.
You rush, kind of barreling through, trying to almost knock them over as they're focused on Minka, and they shift around you. You don't hit them, almost noticeably so. And while it's not like you clip through them, there is something to that.
All right.
You provoke no attacks of opportunity. You make your way there.
Okay. And then that's the rest of my movement, and I will end my turn.
You end your turn. That is your turn, Alice. Olive. From where you are, you and your friend are just kind of like making your way through these little tunnels, trying to find, just ways in which you can kind of go around these places you've been trying to avoid because they're just infested these days. And there's something going on under here. It's nobody that you know because nobody would disturb the cloaker. That's stupid.
Idiots.
Nobody would disturb any of the other things that are nearby as well. And so hard to tell. Do you want to take a peek at what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. So you shift elements of stones aside. And I actually,
I'm above or I'm above, right? Or
you
below?
are above.
Yeah.
And so what you are looking down, and I have a whole drawer of kobolds and I misplaced them.
Nah!
You are kind of peeking in from a little hole on the ceiling there.
So ugly.
Roll.
The clue was that it starts with K.
There's no clue, I don't think.
You said it was a clue.
I said it could be a clue. So you pull this stone aside. You look out. Toes looks out with you, and both of you see this cloaker and the other elements that it has with it, just kind of like projected around these people that you've never seen before. Big people. What do you want to do?
Am I above them or what is it?
So you probably don't see her. You are seeing everything that's happening in the middle right there.
Am I actually this far away?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Damn. Okay.
We got a wheel.
Oh fuck yeah. I'm gonna go.
But if you want, as a free action, that tunnel has another opening that's 10 feet closer, and so that's your wheel.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
I mean, yay.
Best wheels.
That starts you out with line of sight. That's a pretty big difference.
I'm just being an asshole.
What does channel divinity have right?
And remember, I didn't write it down because you have that item, and all that you know about it is as a bonus action, you can use one of those charges. The necklace. Oh no, sorry, you took the dust.
Yeah, I've got.
Never mind.
Yeah, that's not gonna help me here. Just take bath salts real quick.
I mean,
Jazzy jazz.
What is my name again? I already forgot.
To answer your question, channel divinity. There's many ways to channel divinity depending on your subclass. So the range will be depending on which one you're using.
Well, I need to look that up. So I guess what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
She's going to be like, Toast, do you see them over there?
Yeah.
They look like they can help us.
I don't know, but
I think we can make a deal with them.
you have more toes than me, so okay.
Here's the plan. We're gonna go in there, and we're gonna help them, and they'll help us.
Okay.
All right. On the count of three, we're gonna sprint in. Ready? 1, 2, 3!
And he just runs in, and you see, for those of you, I would say probably Alina and maybe Billy. No, not Billy. Maybe Valis can see these two kobolds. Definitely all of you here, but you can see these two kobolds charging in. One of them, the one that is toes, only has 2 toes on each of their feet, and they are charging forward with what looks like a very large, like a 2-pronged fork for cooking that has been sharpened ever so slightly, followed by another kobold. Olive, would you like to introduce your character?
Oh, yes. I don't know if you guys can see her because you're kind of engaged, but the audience can see a little gray kobold with a streak of brown that goes from her pointy little nostrils up over her tiny, tiny little eyes that she barely even uses, over her horns, down her back, and over her tail. You can see that she's got a hammer and like a pick on her back because we are in a cave. And she's got these like knobby little claws from living in this like shifty cave for a long time. And that's what she looks like.
So these 2 kobolds have arrived into battle. Let me grab. I didn't think Toes was going to go into battle. So here's a hyena that will be
Oh,
Toes.
fuck yeah. Sorry, I brought Toes into this.
Toes like what's on a foot.
Toes like
Yeah.
what are not on his feet.
Because he only has 2 toes per foot.
That is the kobold's turn. That brings us to the top of the round, and to the cloakers. So
I think you mean cave tapestries.
to the cave.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The cavestries.
Didn't mean to limit them.
Yeah, aspirations.
Just gonna tuck in and follow Valis.
They're gorgeous.
So he's gonna
I want
turn
one in my
around to
house.
face Billy. Tuck in a little bit towards Minka.
too.
And this one, we'll start with that one. So this one, you can see the teeth just almost like a lamprey, like twist into Ori's neck.
Gross.
And on this second turn, Ori is taking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 points of piercing damage, plus
Oh no.
Oh.
9 points of psychic damage,
Not good.
and let me see here. Oh, no, that's all. Okay. That is its turn. Minka, you are going to be taking an attack from one of them.
Okay.
Minka, that is going to be a 20 to hit.
That hits.
I would like to intercept
Okay. By how much?
by 9. Reduce damage by 9.
Okay. So that is going to be a total of 13 points of damage, reduced to 4. Plus 5 points of psychic damage, as it seems to almost hit you again. Billy, you are taking a strike from one as well.
Is that a spell like damage? The 5 from the psychic?
Technically, no. I don't.
I ask because of for my aura of whatever it is.
It's not magic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just plus psychic damage.
I'm a fan.
That is. Did I roll damage on you, Billy?
Nope.
Did I roll an attack on you?
a hit.
Okay. Billy, the one near you strikes out. That is only going to be a 13 to hit. And so you dodge out of the way. It hisses and turns. It flaps to sail aloft. And then the final one
Classic.
is going to hit you, actually, also, Minka.
I'm going to choose to use my reaction to reduce its attack by
Okay.
1.
Does a 14 hit?
No.
All right. And so you react, pushing yourself back. The glow pulses a little bit to kind of throw them off, and they are unable to hit you. And that is all that they can do in their turn.
Question.
Yes.
For concentration checks, is that 2 separate attacks or one full attack with the attack and psychic damage?
One full attack.
Okay.
That is their turn. That brings us to Alina, followed by Ori.
Okay, he said attack the one that's got Ori. So Alina's gonna cross her little fingers and toes and hope that magic can harm the one that's on Ori, and she's gonna pop with Eldritch Blast.
Alrighty. You can see this thing grinding its teeth into Ori's neck, pulling out its very vitality.
A natural 20
Very
and
nice.
a 25.
Let's hope this takes effect.
Please take effect. Woo, woo. It's force damage.
Alina,
It's force damage.
Oh no.
those are both hits. So go ahead, roll the natural 20 first. Or, I mean, whichever
Great
order you want to roll them in is
Damn.
fine.
All right. See, Hannah knows that a lot of creatures that have immunity to many kinds of magic do not have immunity to force, but that's, you know.
Yeah, 'cause Force is like the forgotten child of the magic community.
I'm just making
Which one's the crit?
conversation, you know. I'm rolling the crit right now, so. Oh, sorry. No. Roll 1 die, double it, add modifier. I always fucking mess it up. Okay. Try again. Okay, that's 7 points of force damage on the first one.
So, it doesn't deal any damage to the first one, but
What? Hey, mirror image.
it's not quite mirror image. It does. There's things that you imagine, like in mirror image, I believe you have to make saving throws on area effect things and things like that. So your spells would work on mirror image, I think, but similar. Yes.
It's like a combination of mirror image and the channel divinity.
Kind of, yeah. That's where the features are kind of drawn from.
So that did no damage, but it made one of the whatever it is
Correct.
disappear.
Correct.
The boot boos.
Okay, so now I'm gonna roll for the regular hit, which is probably gonna do more damage than the crit, honestly. Yep. 15 points of force damage.
Okay.
It's a 1 on the die for the crit and a 10 on the die for the not crit.
Ooh.
That's the
Wow.
Plus 3 bludgeoning.
Goes right back.
Oh,
You watch as that hit, each one pop, and then 2 of these cloakers just disappear all at once. And this creature, suddenly the eyes look up. It had been totally focused on Ori before, despite the fact that it didn't take any damage. Now it's looking up, and it's looking around for the source of that damage. Although at this range, doesn't seem to be able to see you.
Okay, so I still have my move action. I don't want to use the rest of my flight. Can I... So I've got my jumpy little hooves.
You're like crouched onto a little ledge up
Yeah.
there.
Can I try to kind of use my movement to kind of hop down to ground level with my little jumpy, like my little goat legs?
So you don't have a climb speed, correct?
No.
So that's
but
probably
I have
an
a thing that
fall.
lets me jump really good.
That's true. I don't think it lets you jump really good in that way. I think it's pretty specific in what it lets you
It's
jump
only
real
an
good at. Yeah. Mirthful Pronk is
It's not a down.
It's no a long or high. High jump doesn't go both ways.
It doesn't. And also, I mean, even if it did, it's not. I think there's a reason that climb speed exists.
Okay, so if I were to want to get down, what would that look like? Would
So-
it have to be an action to make it like a climb?
I think that there's 2 different ways that you could do it. You could just free action fall, and that has its own drawbacks, or you could climb down using an action to make an athletics
Okay,
check.
so that would be next turn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, she feels bad about the damage to Valis, but not that bad. So,
Yeah.
so instead, she's just gonna yell, "Hey, over here! Pick on somebody your own size," and leave it at that.
Okay, that echoes off the caves along with these creatures and the shriek of kobolds. But that is your turn, Alina.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to Ori. Ori's looking kind of pale. They're having their essence drawn out by this cloaker. They're going to make a saving throw at the end of their turn.
Oh.
That's a 2 on the dice.
What's the saving throw for?
It's a
Matt's
strength
character
save.
dies when he's not here.
It's a strength save, and he's rolled a 2 and a 3 on the dice. I don't know what his modifier is, but almost guaranteed it's not high enough to have those be successes. I'm just going to assume that a 12 and up is going to be a success. That is Ori's turn. That brings us to Minka. Minka, you watch as Ori is trying to struggle to get away, but still stuck. Two of these cloakers, the one on either side of you, just disappeared.
Alright. So Minka's gonna charge forward to get within touching distance of Ori. Alina definitely doesn't fall off a cliff. It's fine.
No, I do. I deserve it.
120 points of falling damage, please.
So she's going to use a round of the healing aura to heal herself.
Okay.
Because she is looking kind of terrible. Okay, that's something. And then she is going to cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level on Ori.
Okay.
So that is... While she does this, she thinks about Ori and the fact that every single time we seem to have something that drains vitality, he gets the shit end of the stick.
Happens a lot.
It's like the 3rd time.
He just must have a lot of vitality.
It's almost like he's always in the front of the group by a good distance.
Yeah.
One more die.
It's the curse of the rogue, really.
So that's 19 points of healing for Ori.
Character.
Say again?
19 points of healing for Ori.
19 points. That's almost all the damage that he's taken so far. Very
Hey.
nice.
And then, so that was her action, her bonus action, and her movement. So she's gonna just stick it out right here
Okay.
and totally not think about the fact that she is very close to this thing
You
now.
rush up. This creature is focused on Ori, looking around to the sides, and then as you get close and you pump Ori full of vitality, this creature's eyes just drift up and like look straight at you. They're huge, each one about the size of your face, and they are focused on either side of a huge lamprey-like mouth that you hear just disattaches from Ori. You have its focus. Anything else, Minka?
No.
Okay. That is Minka's turn. That brings us to Billy. Dallas, you're on deck.
Seeing that Alina was able to hit that one, Billy is going to take the L and move that way.
Okay.
This way?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You
30
tense
feet?
your muscles, you pull away, you do not provoke an attack of opportunity.
Cool. Billy forgot that was a thing.
Like, oh, that was lucky.
It was Billy, not Kara, though. Totally.
Yeah. Kara remembered. Now these flat things, are they flat?
Yeah.
Sweet. So I have line of sight.
Yeah, so the way that you can think about it, anything that has other rocks on top of it is flat.
Cool. Pew pew.
Pew pew.
Billy.
Wait, explain to me what pew pew is.
Eldritch Blast.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize that we haven't said Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
When Alina cast it, it's pop pop. When
Yeah.
Billy cast it, it's pew pew.
Kind of based on the relative strength.
Cool.
So that's a 12.
12 to hit?
Yeah.
That is going to be a miss,
And
unfortunately.
the other one is 23.
23.
Much better.
Wait, what? Why roll?
Why roll?
Yeah, what?
Oh,
Why
he's,
roll?
he's
Because-
rolling to see if it gets rid of it.
Oh.
The very
Mirror
last
image
one.
rolls. Yeah.
I don't know if it's exactly like in the same odds, but it's 50-50 for
It's
this.
the same idea.
It's different odds, but same idea.
Yeah.
Same mechanic.
All of a sudden, there is just one of these cloakers left, Billy, as that dissipates the very last illusionary one that seemed to be projected psionically from this creature. This is now one left. What are you doing?
Bonus action. Ha!
Okay. Yeah, you burn a whole, so it's a very long. But that is your turn, Billy. That brings us to Valis.
All right, I'll say to the group, "Good job, everyone." And then, well, I said a thing and people listened.
Billy rolls her eyes with the relentless positivity.
Nothing drags Valis down.
Aura
No
of
matter how hard we
positivity.
try.
And then also, you are in a great position to help me flank.
Yay!
I attack this thing. Do I have advantage because of flank?
You do.
Woohoo! All right, first attack. 21 to hit.
21 is a hit, and this creature has no further duplicate, so you imagine this damage will stick.
9 slashing.
Okay.
Second attack. 19 19 to hit.
19 to hit. That is a hit.
Woo. Let's see. All right. I'm just gonna roll it. I'm just gonna nuts my another 9 damage.
Another 9 points of damage. Anything else, Valis?
Yeah. How hurt does Ori look?
Not very.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As like Ori began to take damage, Minka surged forward and began to heal him. And right now, it's almost like he is being drained and healed at the exact same rate. As you rush forwards, you can kind of see this happening. This is like a cycle of vitality. And so you slide to the side using the distraction that this creature clearly is now focusing on Minka to sneak in behind and get these strikes off. You deal damage, it deals full damage. Anything else, Valis?
Nope.
Alrighty.
That's it from me.
Numlock.
Oh, yes, that's my name. So Numlock is going to say to Toes, Toes! Numlock wants to go over and help these friends.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Okay, and so Numlock runs in.
Protect Numlock at all costs.
You guys are idiots! What are you doing in this cave? Don't you know it's dangerous? And then she's going to look around at all of these foreigners who she's like, idiots. And she's going to channel divinity and use Watcher's Will. And at first she's like, the Lord will protect you while you're down here. And
When you hear that yelled out, you hear from this other kobold that has just climbed up to this ridge and is scurrying along. They just go, the Lord!
the Lord!
And they just keep going.
The Lord!
And they just keep going. You can see they like pull out the spear in their hand.
The Lord! And then anybody within 30 feet of me, for 1 minute, you can choose advantage on saves for intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws.
Which one do you choose?
What was the one that these cloakers have been attacking with? That's wisdom, right?
Seems
it was
like it.
wisdom.
The most recent
Yeah.
one was,
So
yeah.
you guys get saves on, or
Non-dodging.
advantage on wisdom saves.
There you
Nice.
go.
Yes.
Yummy.
Very, very nice.
Excellent.
I'm
So
over
you
here.
watch, and Valis, you there's a kinship here. This is an individual that draws strength from a source, similar to you in ways. Although as you hear them shout out, "The Lord!" maybe not quite exactly the same, but that is your turn.
That's my turn. Oh, wait.
Alright, so Toes.
Wait, bonus action. I'm going to try to telekinetically shove Ori out of this guy's, out of the
Okay,
cloaker's
yeah, make a
mouth.
strength check using the telekinetic hands strength score, which should be on the feature.
Incredible gameplay.
Roll the roll.
Let's see. It is.
Give Ori a good yeet.
What is blah 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 blah.
Kinda like a full
Strength.
yeet.
So the DC is 11 plus the ability modifier. Okay, so that would be plus 5. Move 5 feet. I'm confused.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 15, so
Okay.
plus 5 is 20.
So as this happens, Minka, you see this creature, the eyes drift up to you, it just disattaches from Ori and it begins to hiss. And in that same second, you watch as Ori just pops up and just gets like shoved almost like soap out of a wet hand from this grip. And this creature hisses, but then like the eyes look up and it's surprised, it's angry, there's a lot happening, and right behind it there is this kobold and it begins to yell at you. Anything else?
Where is Ori now? then?
Ori is going to end prone in that same space.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's everything I can do.
Toes, for his part, as he gets to the end and finishes his reverent chant to the Lord, is going to throw his little spear at this cloaker. And then there's got to be a miss as it just kind of clatters behind you, Minka. You just hear, sorry, and ducks down underneath. But that is his turn. That is both of the kobolds. That brings us to the top of the round.
lot for
And
Minka
to
right
the
now.
cloaker. So this cloaker is lost Ori, looks up a little bit confused, but Minka, you're right there in front of it.
Stop looking at me.
First, it is going to let out this low, reverberating moan, and as it begins to, it's going to vibrate through your body. Can you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Plus,
Keep it in mind.
plus 5 or perception?
A
Plus
natural 20.
Oh, hey!
For a total
Wait,
of
advantage, that's what it
20.
is.
So inspired by this kobold are you that this in no way perturbs you. You do not take a minus anything to your next saving throw or attack roll, and instead this creature is now going to attempt to bite you.
No.
That is wow, Minka is getting good rolls here. Does a 8 hit.
No!
And so as it bites, it misses and pulls its whole body around to whip you with the tail. That is going to be a 14.
No.
And so, unable to roll above an 8 on the die against Minka,
Minka, the
just swings
tank.
again and again. And Minka, you are the party's tank for this one combat. That is your turn. That brings us to Billy. Billy, you rush around the side. It is just this single cloaker now, and you can see it's taking damage.
I think
Oh, did I? Oh, I did. Yeah. Sorry.
dare you.
I did. Sorry. So, going back, Alina, what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna do hit roll.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do an attack, so it probably won't have it unless I kill it. It won't have a ton of impact on
Just
like,
a pop pop.
just a pop up.
A
Go
quick
for it.
Eldritch Blast.
Ooh, that's one natural 1 and 1 15, please.
Okay. So first,
Uh-oh.
that is important because could you roll damage for the natural one? The 15 is a miss.
I'm going to assume because of Toes' current position that this is a very bad day for Toes.
It's not a bad day for Toes. So technically, this is happening before you release Ori, and as Minka knows better than anyone,
Oh.
when somebody is grappled and they get hit from a ranged attack, it's not the best.
7 damage.
7 damage. So I
Who's
mean,
this damage going to?
Ori only takes 7 points of damage as this creature whips around.
There's an aura of warding, so he takes half of that.
There you go. Only
As this
3
is
points of
damage from
damage.
spells.
I think that I'm doing this, but I have to look up whether the 3 bludgeoning is voluntary or not.
I don't think it is. But as this is all
But it says
happening.
you can deal.
Okay,
extra
then that is. So, no problem. You throw this Eldritch Blast, and as this creature turns and pulls Ori out in front, you fire this like Eldritch Blast, and you choose not to deal any more damage as it's going to strike Ori. Minka, you watch as Alina is just learning for your example.
Oh my god.
But that is anything else, Alina?
No, I think I've done enough damage.
Okay.
I imagine that just like chords of Minka the Malicious echo eerily through the cave.
And Alina, like it's a pretty good swap. So.
Yeah.
That is that brings us all the way back down to Billy.
Question.
Following that.
Yes.
So when the cave tapestry attacked me on its turn,
Yes.
and then it was just Alina's turn.
Correct.
Do I
So we skipped Alina previously.
did we?
Yeah, I think you also
Then we went-
skipped
then we
Ori
skipped-
and Minka.
Yes. No. I did Ori. I
Right.
skipped Alina to get to Ori, and then in going back to get Alina, I now just skipped Minka.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's Minka's turn. Billy, you're on
I'm
deck.
so sorry,
No,
Billy.
thank
I'm
you.
just
Thank you for keeping me
confused.
honest. Thank you
I'm
for
just
doing
like,
So what did Ori do on Ori's turn?
Ori failed a strength save, and then didn't end up mattering because, yeah, I mean, he can't really move anywhere at the moment, and I'm trying to kind of like minimally use Ori at this point. Minka, what would you like to do?
so, is this thing within touching distance?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to shock and grasp it.
Okay.
So
So she
Vice
get
has
flanking?
a similar spell.
Because I am.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You absolutely get flanking.
advantage it.
The nice thing about shock and grasp is that it makes the target unable to take reactions, so it's usually like grasp and then get away.
So that is a total of 26 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
All right, so it's 2d8 lightning damage. That is a total of 10 lightning damage.
10 points.
Do you guys have lightning and thunder? That's a nice team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be awesome.
And then
supervillains
I'm going
together.
to. I am not going to move,
Okay.
but I am going to use the pulse of the healing magic to heal her Minka because she is not looking too hot.
There you go.
That's a total of 9. Okay, cool. And then that is the end of Minka's turn.
So you reach forwards, you jolt this creature, and then you regain a little bit of health, seeing Ori looking pretty good. That is your turn, Minka. That brings us to Billy. Valis, you're on deck. Pew pew.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
19.
19. That's a hit as well. So you can roll damage in whatever order you want.
So many hits.
Yeah, from this side of the cave, there is just blast after blast. These force blasts just singing over the rocks here. And then Ori is just kind of struggling underneath.
I'm sorry.
It's funny.
So that's 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 4, 14 points of force damage.
Very nice.
First one, which was the crit.
That's good numbers.
Yeah.
And 9 points of force damage for the regular one.
Hey,
Nice.
still pretty good.
Excellent.
Good damage.
Yes.
Anything
It
else?
is precisely average. No.
Acceptable turn. That is your turn, Billy. You throw these Eldritch Blasts over. Alina's throwing them from behind you, and so together, this is like an artillery attack on this creature, but it is being hit. And from those of you who are on this side of this rock, you don't see Billy, you don't see Alina. It is just like fire coming in from over top, these force blasts that you can't really see. They just kind of, it's force damage that is just hitting. But that is Billy's turn. That brings us to Valis. Numlock, you're on deck.
Looks down at Numlock and goes, "Ah, yes, a fellow believer."
You believe in the Lord looking over us right now. The Lord!
It's almost, and you, I would say most of you realize this is almost like reflexive. That when somebody says it, they start saying it too.
And then I'm just gonna do 2 attacks on the thing. First
Okay.
one, not looking so good. 15 to hit.
15 is not a hit. You swing, and this creature, being beset by all sides, is swishing to one side. It like moves out of the way of Alina's attacks, but Minka grabs it and shocks it from behind, and it goes around, gets hit by Billy. It's hard to hit.
Second attack.
Yeah,
That's 24 to hit.
but not too hard because you hit it with that one.
Haha. And then that will be 9 slashing damage. And let's see. I think I'm going to maneuver to. Can I like move through this? Move behind it around this thing to like get over here.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
All right, I'll do that so that we can kind of like fully surround it.
Okay, so you kind of like skirt underneath it as it slams into the wall. Minka like shocks it. You slash across and use the movement of that like sword thrust to pull yourself to the other side. You guys are now all surrounding this creature and Ori. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, that is your turn, Valis. That brings us to Numlock.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay. So like Numlock was just like, you guys can all do it. And then now it's like watched as Ori gets dropped and this creature is like doesn't have their dinner or whatever they were gonna do to Ori. And so now it's like,
Oh shit. The Lord will save you if the Lord will save you.
and they're going to kind of like lie on the ground like a dog and then put their legs up and they're gonna use their kobold grovel.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, the Lord will save you if you don't stop hurting us.
Phenomenal.
Everybody within 10 feet of me gets advantage on their attack rolls.
Oh, incredible.
You see this kobold rushes up and then just falls and begins to grovel at this creature's feet. And it, for what it's worth, really confuses the cloaker. It turns and is very focused on this pitiful little creature.
Don't hurt me.
It's one of the greatest features in this game. Anything else?
Even better.
Yeah.
No, that's all I got.
Alrighty, that is your turn. And I think probably for Toes, well, first of all, as a reaction to what you did, this creature is going to let out a loud hiss because that does bring it down to a certain damage threshold.
Unfortunately.
Some of the rocks kind of fall down, and this echoes and echoes, and Toes just turns and looks over their shoulder. And Toes is going to lean down and just go,
Keep it quiet. There's others around.
and it just kind of backs up, and you can see looking over in the direction of the cave opening nearest to Olive. Yeah. That is the kobold's turn. It's Olive's hand.
Lord!
Oh no.
That's the Lord.
Lord!
What's that dude from Super Smash Brothers, the Master Hand?
Oh, Master Hand. Yeah.
It made me think
Not a
of the
sponsor.
claw from Liar Liar.
So that is not a sponsor. That is your turn, Numlock. That is the kobolds. That brings us to the top of the round to the kobold, or to the cloaker. So this cloaker is beset on all sides and has to make a quick decision. Is it going to try to move and provoke some attacks of opportunity? So probably yeah. And so with a hiss, it is going to lift off the ground and provoke an attack of opportunity from Toes, Valis, Numlock, and Minka.
Do we get advantage because of flank?
You do.
Goodness. Probably not gonna hit.
Wow. Boo.
Does an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit.
The highest I rolled was a 14.
That is not a hit,
Yeah,
unfortunately. Groveling on the ground, you're like, please don't hurt him. And you try to hit him from the ground, but your miner's pick is pretty heavy, and it doesn't quite swing like that.
I hit because I rolled 18 on the die, and I did max damage with my little sickle, so it's 5.
5. Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
So good.
You got them. They're dead now.
I also did max damage, which is 12.
12. Very nice.
Those are the same numbers.
Same number. Unfortunately, you miss, and then Toes also misses as well with their bare hands, having thrown their spear, not really thinking that through. That is the attacks of opportunity. So it's going to lift up, and actually it will end its turn probably a little bit closer to that cave mouth.
Oh, is that their nest in there?
Because it's going to, again, let out a loud hiss. And there is still no response. But that is that creature's turn. That brings us to Alina. You can see this creature takes off. Some of your
pick a range.
allies attack it. Yeah, it does.
Another natural 20.
Very nice.
And a 25.
25 hits
Nuno
also.
blesses us in the
Yeah, for
Sir
real.
Nunos. So she's heard all this, like, the Lord, and she's like, Lord Sir Nunos, yes. He and I have beef right now, but he doesn't know.
There's 3 different groups that believe in 3 different things, and all of them believe that they are all on the same page right now.
9 on the die for the critical hit, so that's
Nice.
23 points of force
Very
damage and 3
nice.
bludgeoning.
Fuck yeah!
And
Pew, pew,
then
pop, pop.
Second one, 10 on the die for an additional 15 force damage.
Yeah, what?
I
Alina.
see.
Tell us how it happened.
Damn!
Damn, that's a
Now we
lot
get to
of
RP
damage.
the rest of the session.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 2 blasts, and the creature is flying away from her. So 1 blast through each wing,
Nice.
and just shears off the wings, and the body of the creature just crumples to the ground, and the wings flutter off like the tapestries they are.
So as it turns off, there is this last, and then as it takes off and begins to move towards the cave, one of the wings right off, the other one right off, and it just spirals to the ground, hissing, but ultimately dying right at the foot of that cliff. And I'm going to take you all out of initiative.
Now can I hop down?
Yes.
Okay. Hop.
I hate
It's
it.
horrifying, right?
As soon as she gets back, Alina is gonna kind of like, so the little one who cited the Lord, Alina's gonna be like, your Lord, what is his name?
The Lord!
Yes,
He's like slowly climbing down.
yes, but his name.
Lord of the Jaws! Of course.
Sorry, what?
The Jaws! The Lord!
So not Sir Nunos.
Oh, I have never heard that name before.
Alina just like is disinterested now.
Sir Nunos. That sounds like a pet's name. Is that your dog?
He is.
Sir Nunos! Come. Oh, I like Sir Nunos.
And he just kind of like toes tops down and goes over to the little guy who is a little bit like shooken by all of this and kind of recedes a little further back towards
The Sir Nunos is the name of my lord. The dog's name is Little Guy.
No, your Lord is the Lord.
Okay. Yeah. No. I've been there, but I get that.
You feel a little tug on your garment, and looking down, you can see Toes. And Toes, who's like picking up their spear now, just goes, "The Lord protect."
Yes.
You would have died today.
So, thanks for your help. Who are you exactly?
Let me pull that up real
What's my name?
My,
I'm Toes. This is Numlock. We are from, From the Broke Tooth Clutch. The Broke Tooth, yes. The Broke Tooth Clutch clan, of course.
You guys live in these caves?
Yes.
With the cloakers and everything?
Well, if you live in here, you know not to come down in this area. Yeah, why'd you bother them?
We didn't mean to.
You just walked in here like you own the place. Do you even know about the Rocks or the Raz?
Well, maybe you guys can.
I'm sorry, the yucks and the what?
Rocks. Yuck. Rocks.
Listen, I overheard you say that you'll help us, and maybe then we'll help you. So you definitely helped us here. So, what kind of help is it that you need? Because have you heard of the hags that live in the forest up above? Because maybe you can help us out with that.
I know the hags. They're our upstairs neighbors. I don't mind them. They mind their own business, and we mind ours. They stay up there. We stay down here.
Oh.
Up there in the cave or in the forest?
They're in the forest, and we're in the cave.
Why did we come in the cave in the first place then?
Yeah. Now what the fuck?
I don't remember. Hannah doesn't remember, but
Yeah.
Listen. Okay, so you said you needed help. We're just making our way through these caves.
Heal
Maybe
17 points.
maybe like on our
this is
way,
happening.
we can help you out to say thank you.
I would love that. We have an infestation, I think. Yeah. Bad things. The darkness. There's a darkness.
Okay.
The darkness.
Not to
A
interrupt.
darkness.
No, please. Please interrupt.
I think we should keep the volume down
Rocks.
because if the thing was calling something, it's probably still there. And maybe we should just move.
They're two different things.
Okay.
That's a really good Russ.
Come with me.
And Toes just begins to you see Toes. Actually, Toes gets real quiet and kind of into the shadows and begins to creep around this ledge. And then you see the eyes poke back and just goes,
Come on. Can you guys see?
"Who's following Toes?" They're mostly speaking to Billy at this point, but anybody else?
I'll follow.
Okay. Make a stealth check. Billy.
Oh, wait.
Are we in a forest in the material plane? No, we're not.
They're just curving around. They're not going very far. They're
We're
going, 10
stealthing?
feet. They're stealthing like 10 feet around to show them something. So if you want to go around, yes.
I'm also yes. I got a 19.
Okay. Very nice.
That's maybe when I sit next to you, you roll bad.
So you make your way forwards, and as you walk, Billy, you're a little bit louder than the rest. Elements of the kind of your sword clink against parts of your the straps to your boots, and this, I think Toes is going to turn around and just go, "Shh! You said you could be quiet. You gotta be quiet. Go back.
Billy walks, it's just the sounds of branches cracking and leaves.
There's no branches
And it
across.
works great in the forest,
Yeah.
but in a cave, not so much.
And so you make your way back around, and Toes just goes, "I was trying to show you the rock wax, but I make too much noise, and now eat that!" And he points at your sword and points at the little buckles.
I'm sorry, they eat this?
Yeah.
No.
Like metal.
No.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
But you said you would help us.
Wait.
You don't need to help with those. Just rocks.
So what is it that you need help with again?
There's something called the psilocybin. Do you know what that is?
Do I know what that is?
Make a history check at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. No need. The first roll. The first roll is a natural one. I don't think.
Can't roll lower than that. So,
Challenge accepted.
so you think about that. Psilocybin doesn't. Maybe you look at those kobold and they don't seem like they're super smart, and so maybe they're just mispronouncing a word because that doesn't mean anything to you.
The psilocybin.
Would make it recognize that as a mushroom based?
Make a history check and make it flat.
It does us?
Natural 20 for a total of, I think, 20.
Minka knows everything about caves.
Minka.
Hell yeah.
Wow,
No,
nice.
it's 21. I have a +1.
Damn.
Minka with a natural 20. At some point through the collective, through the enclave, there was a individual who passed through from the Underdark. And they had mentioned what at that point you and probably other members of the enclave, though you would never probably say this to their face, just kind of assumed were flights of fancy or a misunderstanding or just a straight up hallucination given the nature of some of the mushrooms down there. But they called this thing the psilocybin. And this individual was purported to be a sort of dark entity in the Underdark that takes creatures that live down there and makes them worse. And unknown to what end, but these creatures tend to be able to, according to this individual, like manipulate reality. And you think about this individual that just created these illusory versions of itself, seems to track with what you're seeing here. The word psionic in your mind, it kind of comes out, and you're recognizing that it seems like whatever this entity or group is, they are imparting psionic abilities to already dangerous creatures to some end. And if you're dealing with creatures that this has created, you're dealing with psionic creatures that are already dangerous to begin with.
Oh, I don't... You mean that's real?
Yes.
Psilocybin? I thought that was... So, someone came through, and they were talking about this, like, psilocybin, and they were taking things and making them worse, and, like, psionic.
No.
And I thought it was mushrooms, but it might be worse if that's what affected that thing,
It's worse than mushrooms.
right? Well, it's Underdark.
You can see points towards the larger cave, the one that the cloaker was heading towards. And it just goes,
Raz, in there. Don't go in there.
So we're helping you with your not mushrooms.
No, not mushrooms. Do you need mushrooms?
We're probably all set on mushrooms, thanks. To clarify, you need our help.
Yeah.
There's this thing that Minka thought was a myth, but actually isn't.
Minka.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that's
right
neat.
there. Making things worse. And we shouldn't go in that cave.
Yeah, don't go in that cave.
So what exactly do you need us to do?
Come with us. Yeah.
And do what?
But you can't fit in our tunnels. You're too big. But there's tunnels that you can go to that we would like to use, but they're infested, and you clear those out for us. We'll show you.
Where do the tunnels go? Because I just remembered, the only reason we're here in the first place is that we're trying to get back out to the forest, right?
We're here to find the hags, and I know you said the hags
Upstairs, neighbors.
are only upstairs, but we think they're also in these caves.
No.
Not even close to
The Lord! The Lord protects us! The Lord!
Sorry, just point of order just for a second.
They're a little confused. We're tracking someone who we think might have come through these caves.
Who?
Some
Another foreigner.
really tall guy. Like, taller than us.
Doesn't have a lot of weapons, punches things.
He punches things real good.
Right.
And also really fast. But we think
you can see Toes looks at you, and both of the kobolds seem a little confused by that.
Yeah, I'm very...
Punches things good.
Alright, so apparently they haven't seen him.
Pickles can punch things good. Pickles can punch things good.
Pickle's very tall.
Pickles is not tall.
Pickles is great, that's not tall.
Pickles is one of us.
Okay.
Pickles is
But, okay,
we
so
can-
if the Goliath, who I now remember we're chasing through here, but he would have gone back and forth because the hags told him to, so he knows his way around, and he probably knows how to avoid the kobolds, right?
He did meld with the earth.
We're not the bad.
Right. Oh, nobody
He
said you were.
Say it again?
You're doing very
He
good.
melded with the earth.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't.
Oh, and he ran away. He melted with the earth. And
He like
Oh, he did.
shoots
Yeah.
him. Yeah. We
I
only
don't remember.
think he's in this cave because the rabbit guy
mentioned
told us that he thought he would go through the cave.
a
because-
cave.
No
And this is a
rabbits in
nearby
caves.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Wait, really? Warrens? No. Okay.
Well, maybe we can help.
They seem to be no rabbits in
uninfest-
this cave, for what it's worth.
Just
uninfe-
lizards.
if we help them uninfest a tunnel,
Then we can use them.
Do you know?
Okay. Okay.
Let's do this.
Do you
Roz.
do you know where to find the hags upstairs?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. If we help you with this infestation, maybe we can have them. Can
I'll
you help
bring
us
you to
find
their
the hags?
door.
Yeah.
I guess if you really want, yeah.
yeah.
This sounds great.
All right.
Deal.
She
Deal, fellow
She like
believer.
grabs all of your hands and just goes.
Yes. Listen, before we go, do you think you could watch over us while we like rest for an hour or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we move further away from that tunnel?
Yeah.
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 How far
Come with
away
us.
is the infested caves?
You should rest first.
Because we thought
Well,
about
not
resting
here,
before
just
we came in
wondering-
and we decided
yeah.
not to, right?
Well, we walked in, and then there's like a branching path, but before we could even like mentally assess the branching path, a tapestry happened.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So we still need to rest, is what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
thought about resting before we even came in the first place.
Could you?
No
lead us-
time at all. 3 tails. We got there.
3 tails.
3 tails. Okay.
3 tails.
3 tails. Could you find us a place where we can just rest for a little bit on the way there that's safe before we? Okay.
You come to our clan. No.
No, never mind.
They won't like it.
Look, we
You
wouldn't want to
stink.
disturb your clan. Oh, we wouldn't want to disturb your clan.
we're also much larger, so I imagine it would be much harder for us to get there.
You guys
We
get
can't
it.
use your caves.
So but I think it sounds like the deal is you bring us toward the caves, we help you uninfest them, we rest for a little bit before we do that, and then you show us where the neighbors live.
Deal. Deal.
Okay.
Cool.
The Lord protects you.
Yeah, my lord.
The Lord protects
The
you as
Lord.
well.
The Lord.
I
And you
say.
can see every time it's hard to tell because with their little cobalt hands, they have a different number of digits and their claws, and so it's like they're making some kind of symbol, but really it just looks like they're wiggling their fingers at you each time. So it is a little bit comical. But they lead you in the direction that they actually came from, down that central pathway.
As we leave, Alina's gonna be like, Cheshire, come on.
Little guy. Arf! And he just kind of barks and a little timid, but follows you.
Is that your food for later? That is smart to keep it alive. Give him as a
Does
water.
Ori seem
Not
like no worse for the wear?
He's like he's
having his vitality
he's sullen and quiet because he just had his vitality drain. But he seems okay.
But the usual.
Mechanically, yeah. He's normal level of sad.
That's all right.
just mildly traumatized
Yeah.
from yet another tapestry because I believe the last tapestry also did a similar thing to his face.
The last tapestry was
Was I?
So sometimes when I'm making
I didn't
like the
think so.
larger regions, I tuck little things away that are like mostly Easter eggs for me, and this is one of those where it's like the tapestry joke. And there's a couple of those like throughout the continent that are I like. Hopefully you guys will find.
So glad that this is a bit.
okay.
The best.
Okay. Well, lead the way.
Right this way.
Okay.
And they begin to scurry through, and you watch. They walk very quietly, and especially Numlock. You could see very quiet. They're walking in a way that makes you aware that probably they, without even looking around, they could probably see what they're doing. But the other one a little less so. They clunk their way, toes, down this hallway, following Numlock, and eventually you can see that there is a very small kind of cave. It is no more than 2.5 feet tall. And Toes turns around and says,
It's only one tail of little tunnels, and then we go to the bigger tunnels. You have to squeeze for a little bit. One tail. Come.
and even for the kobold, you see the legs kind of get stuck and then scurries in. This is narrow. You will all, with maybe Valis, questionable if even Valis will fit. This is a very tight space.
Do you have like another wider tunnel we can go through?
No, the tunnels are infested. That's the whole problem. The infestation.
How long is this tunnel? Like, is it really quick to get through?
One tail.
How long is it?
She turns around.
Five, 6 teeth? Yeah. Five teeth. Five
Wait.
teeth.
How long is your tail? Is it one tail?
No. Idiot.
How many of your tails is in a tail?
Oh.
He turns and for like does a full circle trying to like get the whole tail, and then just goes, a lot.
Okay, Billy.
Okay.
Everything's gonna be okay. Do you want me to go in front of you and you can hold my tail?
One tail like this.
And he runs, and you watch as he runs about 30 feet away, and then runs back.
Maybe I could just like go through the infested tunnel and meet you guys.
Come on.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
That was just one. It's not far. He just did like a 30 foot
Is it
back and forth.
solid rock?
That's 30 feet.
No. And so what you are looking at is an accumulation of packed dirt. You can actually see like almost like brick, just old grass that has somehow like been pushed through whatever collapse event caused this and has like died and hardened, almost petrified here. This is very loose. And there's little bits of rock tumbling down, little bits of dirt tumbling down as well.
I would like to assess it and see if I could safely use the moving rock cantrip, that mold earth cantrip, to gently open it up a little bit without destroying and
Make a nature
collapsing
check
it.
or a survival check, your choice.
Okay,
Do I have any
think
fantasy
survival is
Xanax that I can offer Billy?
survival's better.
You can tell me.
Xanax? No.
Can you?
We gotta get a
Oh,
prescription.
it's a possibly a natural 20. Can't
Why are you
That is
sweating?
natural 20. So that's a total of 28 because the survival is the plus 8
Oh,
as
you're
well.
rolling like
So
fire.
Until I stop.
wall here
Until
you
you
see becomes narrower and narrower and narrower until it reaches this gap. This gap has been caused by several huge boulders that are so large that they go up to the ceiling and then beyond, that have fallen together in such a place that they have left a single little space beneath. And that is what these kobolds are using to get to a larger tunnel underneath. This, when you look at it, it's kind of positioned such there's a jumble of rubble over the actual stones that create this opening. You could stone shape it, but you run the risk of collapsing everything on top of it. But it's possible.
I think we're just gonna have to go through. I don't want to move anything.
Two stones like clatter out as this kobold like grabs both ends and wrenches himself out. Rocks like fall down and he just goes,
What are you waiting for? Let's go.
I start to doff my armor.
okay. Crawls back inside.
I'll go in behind all of you.
Mingo will attempt to shimmy through.
Okay, make an athletics check.
Why would you say don't get stuck? This right
Sorry,
before.
Cursed it.
Oh yeah, you did. You sure as
No,
hell
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
did. Nat 1.
Whoa!
Guess who is
I'm gonna
stuck?
shut up now.
Guess who's stuck?
So Minka, you watch as this kobold squirms in, and as the rocks kind of fall, you're like, I need to go quickly because every time that they go in and out, they're making this weaker. For them, this is very easy to go through, so they're just kind of carelessly going in. It's more and more dangerous for you. So you get in there, and almost immediately, Minka, you feel the rocks shift ever so slightly, and they pinch in at your hips, and you are stuck. But because it's 8:30,
Ah,
we're going to
damn.
take a quick break, and we'll be right back after about 10 minutes. There'll be a timer on your screen. We'll see you at the end of it. Bye-bye. And welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. Welcome back to, or not welcome back, welcome to our D&D game if you didn't, if you're just joining us. We're going to jump right back into it. Give me 1 second here.
Back into the cave.
We're gonna have to do that, like that gift of like Winnie the Pooh
The Lord!
is like sticking out. Yeah, that's this.
You have all vanquished a psionic cloaker, a cloaker mutate, and you've decided to trust these 2 kobolds that you just met, who are chanting about the Lord, into a cave to have them watch you while you sleep. And as they guide you into crawling into, I just like to put into different contexts.
Honestly, they seem more trustworthy than a lot of people we've met.
That's fair.
These people more than yourself.
Oh, damn, okay.
You followed them to their cave, which you found to be very tight. Billy, you felt a little apprehensive about going through here, but luckily Minka decided that they would take the lead and show you how safe it was. And
Thanks,
Minka,
Boo.
as you entered in, the rock shifted in this talus cave built of debris, and you found that right at your waist, the stones pinched in, and you are stuck. For everybody who's here, you can see Minka is no longer making any progress. Their legs still moving, but the body remaining exactly where it is. You can hear from the other side of the cave just, come on! And just like trying to get there. And you see from where you are, from this kind of like big hole about 10 feet in front of you, that other kobold poked their head out. And they're just saying, just keep going!
I see. That's the,
Alina does like a big sigh, does the pinching of the bridge of the nose, and just puts her shoulder against Minka's ass and just.
Make an athletics check, Alina. Make it at advantage.
Yeah.
Just like slowly backs away. This is awful.
You're next.
No.
It's athletics, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, 7.
7. You
my
sigh.
shoulder's stuck
You
in
take your shoulder, yeah, right into the cheeks. You take your shoulder, and as you shove forwards, the loose stones just underneath your hooves give way, and you fall prone right behind Minka. Minka, you are just as stuck as you were before, but you feel Alina fall behind you.
well,
Having a lot of preserved meats and cheese.
if we wait an hour, I can get out. But, until then, I don't... Does anyone have, like, oil or a grease?
You know what helps?
Well, hold on.
I have oil.
Yours. What? Your oil?
What?
Sorry.
Yeah. I take out my... Actually, let me make sure it's still in my...
Can I tell you, Valis has
You're
tried to
much
use this several
stronger than
times.
me. Just try
Alright.
pushing. Maybe just pushing. Okay, no. Bring out the jug of oil.
It's a flask. This thing can make some oil, so this might help. So,
But do you want just? It's so messy.
Okay,
You can
well,
see on the top of this flask, the cap of it is almost like a dial with different little words that you can barely read. And as you get up close to it, you can switch the dial over to oil. That's one of the settings for sure.
So, right now, I would prefer to not be here, and nothing I'm doing seems to be helping. I'm just worried because these rocks shift a lot, and the longer I'm here, the more I'm worried it'll shift more, and I'll be more stuck.
That's something that happens.
No,
So
everything's fine.
It's
So I
a
start
very small
Directly
scale.
in front of you, Minka, the head again pops up, and you can just hear, stuck?
Stuck.
Stuck. I'll go get Fat Tanko. Be right back. And you
I'm
just hear
gonna-
as he like goes and skitters off into the stone passage.
Minka, do you mind if I try to use some oil and push you through?
That's fine. These clothes are probably ruined anyway.
Okay. Pop oil
Okay.
sides and
You just drop oil down and it flows over, and you feel
I will help as much as I
the
can.
very gauzy fabric just like
messy, I hate
weights down, and you feel it's not like water that just wicks into clothing. You feel it settle on top, and just slowly you get more slimy, and then eventually you are just coated in grease. Minka, make an athletics check at advantage.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna.
Art is imitating life right now because this is just about the worst thing that Hannah can imagine. Just sensory, not good. And so Alina just wishes that Valis had listened to her and fucking pushed.
It was almost really good. And then it kept moving. So that's an 8.
8. You wiggle, and the dirt is displacing. It's picking up into the oil, and you're just making the foulest mud that you possibly could. And that kind of cakes into these small areas where you can wriggle, and you feel yourself get a little more stuck. And though the DC wasn't terribly high to get out, it's getting higher.
Are you still stuck?
Yes. Listen, we really
Just try pushing.
Do you
her,
trust me?
please.
Yep.
Oh. Alright, I will try to push her.
Okay.
What do I
Make
roll?
an athletics check at advantage.
Are you gonna
The
like
thing is, it's just
ram
the
her
check
with
is-
your head?
None of us are strength-based characters.
Oh no. 12. Athletics?
Yeah.
Oh.
12.
Yeah.
So you imagine if somebody hadn't just created a whole bunch of mud to gunk up the edges of Minka, that would have been just enough to push her out. But Minka, you feel the mud like become almost packed into a solid underneath you, the bits of oil seeping out from the rock, and this is very much how cement is made, essentially.
Oh, fuck.
And you're basically right now being cemented in, and as Valis pushes harder and harder, it's creating a more and more packed surface, and so you feel yourself get even more stuck.
As a bonus action, I'm already pushing you. I will face step you out of there to the other side.
Very nice.
Unfortunately, I cannot do that again. So that was my last use of that.
You face step. Now, tell me the text of face step real quick.
Let's see. Oh wait,
Can you grab somebody?
I can only teleport you to an unoccupied space I can see. I just realized that. So I can't.
Well, did you look through the hole?
Well, it's like I can't see. It's not a place I've seen.
So-
I have to actively see it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Minka is really all that you could see.
So-
so you can't use that ability.
So Minka, I can use my teleporty thing, but I can't get you to the other side. I can just kind of unstuck you,
Well,
which seems better than what we currently have. But
I have mining equipment if we want to dig her out.
I mean, I also have a pick.
Maybe
just
we
a
should
lot of
listen to the
vulnerable
kobold who
flesh.
lives in these caves.
I live
the
in
one
this
that went to
cave.
get
That's
the
what I'm-
tanker.
Yeah, well,
And she's still here, right?
How?
I'm on the other side
Oh.
with you guys, and then you're in there getting
Oh, so we
tanker.
can't hear you talking.
Yeah, so I imagine Minka's just facing forward, but like this. So she's like, "So how adept are you with a pickaxe?"
I have a +3 modifier. Does that answer?
So here's the thing. These boulders are what's keeping this open. So if you do too much damage to the boulders, this will not stay open. Right? So, like I said, if we wait like an hour, then I can get myself out. But I don't know if we wanted to, well, if we're gonna wait an hour anyway.
It sounds like in an hour, you're gonna be food.
Minka, you want me to just get you out of there and back to our side? I don't like the idea of you staying in there stuck for an hour.
I mean, what else? Okay, what choices do we really have here?
Take her.
We need to rest, right? And I can just lean against the rock here. That wouldn't be too bad.
If we take Minka out, I mean, I can use my last spell slot to Misty Step myself through.
Minka,
And I
at
have
about
an
this point,
idea.
you can hear there is a little bit of a commotion coming from the tunnel on your side. And you hear two kobolds who are making their way over. You can hear Toes, who is just kind of like, do you speak Draconic?
No,
Okay, yeah.
I do not
So-
speak many things.
Yeah, just,
Does anyone speak Druidic? I got that one down.
Never speaks Druidic.
I know.
but you don't really make out very much, I would say, probably.
They're druids.
You do make out as they're kind of talking. They just go Sandax in a way that is very similar to the Lord, and so maybe that kind of translates. There's something very similar there, but they kind of come up, and you see Toe's head pop up, and he just goes, "Do you bleed a lot?"
No more than the average larger person sized.
Just the normal one. And calls down, and you just hear,
For the coven.
okay. And this like rope comes up, and you can see it's a big length, a very flat, very thick rope, almost like a seatbelt kind of texture. And Toes goes over, and they take like a element of it, and they just slide it around your back, and they take one end, and you see on the, like behind them this big kobold poke their head out, and they're just a fat kobold. They put both arms on, and they just go, oh, hi, and just like get stuck a little bit, and you can see they just go, oh man. Their arms begin to squirm in, and you watch as they start to. And through this, you see what is about to happen to you. They are wearing all of these ropes, almost like several belts that form like a little shirt on them. And they take the middle one and they pull it. And as they do, they slowly start to turn. And as they pull it, you watch as they just corkscrew back down.
Oh.
And you hear they just fall down a little bit. And as they do this, Toes is like working this little rope behind you, and they are slowly getting it, and they are probably going to do something very similar. But they're working on this now. You guys can kind of hear this happening, but you don't see it.
So I am being assisted. So we're gonna see if this works, and if it doesn't work, then we can start burning more magic. But let's try the non-magical approach first.
Okay.
If I see that Toes is about to like start yanking, I'm gonna cast guidance on them because I can actually.
Now, is anybody doing anything to help?
I'll push.
Okay, so you push. Toes pulls this around. No problem, and with no check, with a combination of the mechanical advantage provided by the rope, the pushing from Valis, and Billy's hyperventilating in the corner, you are you turn in this space. The rope does dig into your skin and it cuts you a little bit. You take 1 point of damage, really symbolically, as it kind of like cuts into you, but. You spin slowly through this tunnel, and then you feel the broadest part of your hips just pass through, and you can just pull your legs and kind of squirm down to the bottom.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay, so that wasn't too bad. As far as things go, I am now unstuck, and as long as no one else does what I just did, I think we'll be fine.
Is the hole smaller, or is it the same size?
Slightly smaller than when you began, and so you would imagine the DC was 12 when you began. It's probably a little higher now.
All right, I got a dumb idea.
Go
Can I
on.
see the bag of holding?
Do not ruin my bag of holding.
All right, so I'm gonna open it and like step in it until my head's just poking out.
You can see the
the
kobold's
bag.
watch, and Toes, at least, as he's watching, he just goes,
That's it.
Fellow believer, can you carry me through? So the bag's on the floor now.
Right,
And it's
and
just
so
my head
it's just your
poking
head?
through like this. Yeah, can you just carry the bag through?
A bag of holding is.
Oh, is it?
It's like a backpack, yeah.
Oh.
I'm a
It's
small
not like a little
creature.
thing.
Is
I
a
guess-
backpack smaller than a Valis?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
then
It's
yeah.
it's still probably like 2 feet tall, but it's
I'll carry
Okay.
your head through. Are you alive still?
Yes.
Okay.
Thumbs up. I'm in the
All
bag.
right.
And she
Just carry
like
me in the bag
gives you
through.
like because you got like 3 claws. She goes
Whatever that was.
and then she'll grab the bag of holding and drag it through the hole.
okay.
If Minka can assist in any way, she will.
Make an athletics check at advantage as Minka. How are you assisting?
So she's basically gonna try to like. Are you dragging him behind you or in front of you?
I'm gonna go behind me because I feel like I'd be like I know this hole, and then I'm just gonna have his head behind me.
Okay. Then
It's absolutely the worst.
I think is there enough debris to mold Earth away?
Yes, there's always enough debris to mold Earth away. Again,
I
you
don't
run
like the
the
way you
risk
answered that
of
question.
perhaps.
Of the debris that we added.
Yeah, I mean, again, same thing. As the rocks shift and you add debris,
Yeah.
the way that the weight is stacked changes, and so you can always do it.
Okay, I'm just gonna hold on to Numlock's hand if she lets me. I'm just gonna help pull her through.
Okay. Yeah, so make that check at advantage.
Thank Melora. Okay. What was it? Acrobatics?
Athletics.
Oh, great. So you see, she's got one hand on Minka and then like another hand on Valis's hair, I guess, or like the hook of the bag.
The drawstring of the bag, probably.
Yeah, and then she's like a little bit like stuck in the hole now, and she's like, she rolled a 10.
Yeah, you pull, and Valis, your like shoulders pop out a little bit as the bag stops, and the bag is now stuck.
Can I see like?
Is it stuck in the same place?
Yeah, yeah, it's almost like there's one single point that it's kind of a pinch, and if
It kind of seems like you guys have to fight.
I'm gonna try to push the bottom of the bag through.
make an athletics check.
This is not doing great. I've been trying to keep Billy calm over here. I'm getting stuck. Natural 20.
Okay.
Alina, you're like, God damn it. You like kick the dirt once and you charge forwards and you basically just ram the entire bag through. Numlock, you are knocked off your feet as this bag just poofs, and both you and the bag fall 5 feet down this little hole and into this tunnel, which is a little bit bigger.
Does Alina make it all the way through?
Alina, you're like
I
halfway
wasn't
in.
trying to. I didn't.
If you
I'm
want,
halfway in now?
if you want to be, you can be halfway in, and you can make a much easier athletics check to
I
just
don't want
squeeze
to
through.
yet because I'm not leaving Billy behind.
Alrighty, you squirm back out.
No. So I squirm back out, and I'm like, Billy, if you want me to, I will use up the last of my spellcasting resources and thunderstep us both through. But it's
Not
loud.
thunder. Not thunder.
You hear from inside this little tunnel.
It's really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't thunder.
So not an option. It's time to nut up. I'll be right behind you.
Billy crouches down and looks at the tunnel. Looks at all the mud. looks at all the loose debris.
Sure.
Saving this for hags. Misty steps through.
Damn.
Nice.
Okay.
So, what is? Can you read Misty Step real quick?
Sorry, Boo Boo. I know, so many resources.
I gotta pull it up because I put the card away. I didn't expect to have to read it.
I just want to.
Briefly surrounded by silvery mist, you teleport to 30 feet. You teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see.
Okay.
Is there 30 feet to an unoccupied space? Can I not Misty Step?
No, you can Misty Step. With the bag now free and this tunnel open, you can Misty Step to the very end, and you immediately emerge into a tight space and begin to fall. You slide and you fall, and on all sides of you there is just rock, and for a brief moment it feels like there is rain falling down and there is mud and that there is a tree giving way, and then all of a sudden you fall and you just hear hi, and you see toes and you see a much fatter kobold behind who goes hi, and just you are okay.
Before she sees them, there's just a high-pitched screech and she apparates into existence.
You don't have to scream so loud.
Okay, that's done.
You can see the kobolds now are all kind of like looking around at that.
Yeah, I'll be right down. Can we imagine that Ori gets through somehow?
Yeah.
Okay. And Lena's like, oh, okay. Climb.
Okay.
Army crawl through.
Make an athletics check.
Will.
Minka will continue to try to help as much as she can.
16.
A 16 is enough all by yourself. Minka, you don't even hear Alina until they're already kind of tumbling down this 5-foot little gap and make their way into what is a slightly larger hole. Give me 1 second here.
You guys.
Hello.
Billy, how'd you do?
I hate this.
I know, babes.
I'm sure you heard.
Through these tunnels of scree and debris, you make your way down to a slightly larger space. And here, it is in places almost 8 feet tall, and so places you can stand all the way upright. And then other places it gets a little bit lower and you have to kind of crouch your heads. The kobolds can walk upright fine in this whole space.
I'm gonna take my bag back.
Sure, you take your bag back. Valis, you getting out?
I'm out of the bag.
Okay. You're
Just
a little
little guy.
swing Valis around and wear Valis' head like
Actually,
a
no.
caboose.
Oh my god, wait a
Dog
second.
again?
That's a great way
Do
to
you wanna bring the
travel.
Yes.
Okay. No problem. The dog is easy to fit down.
Actually, throw me at
Like
the
the dog
enemy.
can
I'm just
like,
kidding.
walk
I get out.
through.
Yeah, the dog can actually just walk through.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, with no problem, we'll just kind of go and They kind of squirm their way through, and then more gracefully than most of you, kind of tumble their way down and kind of land on all four paws.
Hi, baby.
And the tail kind of behind. You hear like the little chain links shake as it does.
Oh, it's so unfair how much
That's a
it makes me
pretty
love
metal
your
dog you have.
Okay, we're all here now.
So about finding a good place for us to rest for a little bit.
You can see
about an hour.
tops, right?
Toes turns and just goes,
Fat Tango, can we please use your place?
and Fat Tanko just goes,
I'm not really ready for company, but okay.
he turns and begins to waddle off. The kobold that is going by Toes turns to all of you and just goes,
You have to be careful. There's creatures, but there's also the Bangle Cracker boys, and they'll come after us. They do ambushes down here. Be careful.
Okay, we'll be careful.
But you don't need to worry about resting because the Lord will protect you.
The Lord! The Lord!
The Lord.
and they begin to walk. You make your way through this tunnel, kind of ducking under places, and here there is not as much moisture. You're not really seeing the stalactites or stalagmites, so in that way it's a little easier. This tunnel also, not really part of the Talus Caves above. It's a little bit more stable. Okay. And so down here, you would imagine you're in what would be known as the Upper Dark proper, really on the lowest possible end of it, but you're just in there.
Minka would like to insight check to think about if the hags are the upstairs neighbors and the kobolds are down here, would it be safe to actually take a full rest without worrying about the influence of the hags?
And what kind of check do you want to make for that?
Insight.
Sure.
That is something I'm good at because I rolled a 2, so the total of 10.
Since insight doesn't have much to do with like magical abilities or like things that would have to do with that, it's hard to tell. You do get the insight that I mean, you can sleep down here.
So I had the same question like at the exact moment that you had it too. So
Maybe we'll bring it up. She's like,
well, right, Alina is gonna ask the kobolds, so how do you guys sleep down here? Any bad dreams?
I close one eye and then I close the other one.
I meant like what's the like, is sleeping like an okay thing to do down here, or is there any danger when you fall asleep?
You can see Toes looks at you and just goes,
Like sleep apnea?
Sure.
Fat
Or like
Tanko makes
really
lots
bad
of-
dreams that turn your friends into enemies.
What?
No. What?
Seems safe enough.
My clan is my clan.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's good. Very good. Thank you for that answer. And
Minka,
then-
at this, make an insight check.
okay.
What did you say? Your clan what?
Is my clan.
Slightly
Like,
better,
my-
but still
my
not
cult or
very
whatever the
good
fuck it's
because
called.
all those natural 20s, the balance has now occurred. That's a total of 10.
Total of 10. These kobolds aren't having bad dreams.
Clutch.
Alina, at hearing that, also would sidle up to Billy and be like, "What do you think? Can we sleep down here?"
Okay, make an Arcana check.
Billy hag check.
Federal Billy Hag check.
Bag check.
Bags check.
Sturdy 20.
You think back to your past about all the bags you know, and it's hard to really say. Down here, I mean, the hags could potentially have influence. It's a lot of spells are blocked by certain thicknesses of dirt and stone, and so if you're in the upper dark, they probably can't see you in the same way that they can.
Not that they could see Billy to start with.
Correct. They, from what you've noticed, there's no magical mist down here. Could they affect down here? Yes. Have you seen anything to hint that they have? No.
There's always a danger.
The only thing that you've seen that is even vaguely hag-like, but even that not something that you've ever seen or associated with hags, was that alarm spell at the mouth of the cave. But that's kind of it. They lead you into an area that is, at first, it looks just like another kind of hollowed out area, but the rocks have been stacked up in a strategic way so that when you pass and kind of go into that area proper, you can see around, and what looks like just a continuing wall actually has a pretty narrow little nook. For Fat Tanko, he actually has to kind of shove the rocks aside to get in. For him, like pushing them closed is like his way of shutting the door, but opens up into a squat little cave. You can all fit. It's cozy. There is no. Normally, you know how Cheshire will go and sleep like, 10, 15 feet away? Not possible here. This is everybody will be within 5 feet of each other.
Is it smaller than outside his house?
No, it's bigger.
Is it smaller with all of us in there?
That it's real close.
So, I mean, once we decide exactly what we're going to do, I can bamf into my ring and then there will be more space.
Right.
But I think my big question right now is, if we think it's safe to sleep here, we should do it because we're not going to have another opportunity and maybe it's worth the risk. I don't know. And I know we'd be giving, losing 8 hours, any advantage time-wise that we would have on the hags, but we're kind of tapped out right now and I think we should rest, like properly.
At the very least, I would assume that they have a lot less influence here. And perhaps we've been awake for a while now.
You guys are literally probably minutes away from making your first exhaustion checks.
If we don't rest now, then we're gonna be at an even worse position when we go back out.
We're at least far enough underground that maybe they've lost track of us. There's always a danger.
True. But
Let's rest.
Maybe, Valis, you and Ori don't have to sleep the entire night, right?
We generally don't. We only need about 4 hours to get all of our energy back.
Do you think you guys can take turns just assisting our new friends here?
Hi.
And like when you're on watch,
Yay, Lord.
it's gonna be really
The Lord.
yes.
Lord.
It's gonna be really important to truly watch over us because the Harengon said something about taking shifts with resting. So if anything, if the hags are gonna influence us, hopefully it's something that you'll see, and then you can, I don't know.
We are the danger now.
Yeah.
I mean, if we rest for 8 hours, I think that should enable us to have 2 people awake at all times.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
I mean, like out of the entire party, right? Like you need 6 hours to sleep. So like if
We have a whole clan.
8 hours. So
We
it'd
need
be
8 hours
Hell.
of.
What are we?
Oh right, the 8 hours of not doing. Okay.
uninterrupted rest.
oh, it's 8 hours.
Yeah.
I always
We're
I
thought.
thought it was
cool.
6.
We're not cool like you elves. We don't trance.
This is very much the elf version
not-
of what could a banana cost? $20?
No, it's the question is whether keeping watch is included in like what would be constituting a long rest.
No, so it splits
And I know
it,
that-
and we do allow it to continue after, but it pauses the time. Yeah.
Okay, so listen. I am gonna go on into my ring, and I can be in there for 6 hours. I'm gonna hand my ring to you, Valis, and then you can give it to Ori like when you go to rest. And then after 6 hours, I'm gonna bamf out into this space, outside wherever. And then I'll finish up a couple hours, and then I'll take the last, however much watch there is.
Billy looks a little uncomfortable at the idea of Alina's ring going to someone not her.
I mean, if that's okay with you, Billy.
It's your ring.
Look, normally I would not give it to anybody who wasn't you. Like, I'm picking up this. Look, normally I would never give it to anybody who wasn't you, but they only need 4 hours, and yeah. Okay.
Who here speaks Draconic?
Whoa, I do.
I know you do. So, Toes turns over to you, and in Draconic just goes,
Does this one seem scared to you? Yeah, they stink of sweat. No, but this one.
and he kind of points. And right now, Billy, they're pointing at you and speaking Draconic, and you can
And then
see,
we both look.
yeah, and then Fat Tango kind of waddles over and comes
I
down
think they're talking about me.
and just goes, do you think I should show her the special secret hiding place? And you could see
I'm going to
Toes is
very subtly cast tongues because I'm about to rest anyway.
make a
So
sleight of
that I
hand
can
check.
eavesdrop.
Make it at advantage. Fat Tanko, Toes
There's no
just...
somatic component. It's just
There you go. Okay. So you hear all of a sudden it just goes from draconic to shifting into this, and you hear Fat Tanko just say, I was gonna sleep there, but if they're afraid, I can sleep there, I guess.
They are friends, not foes.
Toes turns around, and now all of a sudden in common just goes, hey, are you afraid? You know, right?
They were just talking about like having a place where you can go if you're afraid. Maybe it's like a bigger spot that you can sleep in.
Fat Tanko just goes, no, secret spot. Goes over, and you can see, takes a rock and pushes it aside, and there is a tiny, much smaller little cubby that is hidden behind it, just big enough for Fat Tanko, probably not quite big enough for Billy to get into.
Billy's face gets like darker purple, and she just goes.
Fine, you're dead.
Thank you very much. For
And you can see
sharing
Fat
your
Tanko
secret
just
space
wedges
with us.
himself in.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay. Good plan. I'm going.
So I'll stay awake for the first hour, because I can get a little bit back at least. That way, if something does happen during that first hour, we'll have more than one person awake. And then...
At this, Fat Tanko kind of, their head pops out of their hole, and they just go, you know you'll be okay because the Lord will keep you safe.
The Lord will keep us safe.
Absolutely. We just want to help the Lord keep us safe. That's all.
Can I do some type of check on? They keep mentioning like the Lord over and over.
That has
I
come
just
up a couple times. Yeah, make a history check at disadvantage.
Saying that the Lord helps those who help
Guidance.
themselves.
Add a d4 to that.
And at this, Fat Tanko just goes, hey, you have Shimmer Sky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that.
And what's my name? Bronze Knuckles? Numlock.
What'd she say?
I mean, that would be a great kobold name.
So Numlock Bronze Knuckles the Kobold pulls out this like sack of you don't know what, and I go,
Yeah, I got this out.
It's 100% cocaine.
No,
I'm sorry.
It will
It's
protect
cheap
you.
Cocaine.
the Lord. This is the Lord's sweat and tears. The Lord.
18 history check.
Okay.
it's,
Now, Valis, you have no idea who the Lord is, but you do know that kobolds tend to revere dragons. And when they tend to find like worship of something is almost always either Tiamat, this draconic figure that is probably not one that most people would find favorable, or it is proper dragons themselves who they view as like avatars of Tiamat. And so perhaps a dragon, and that would be worrisome. Dragons really haven't. There was one that was here, and it wiped out a whole bunch of the top of Everest.
Crazy. No, it didn't.
But yeah, that's probably what you would know. You don't know of any dragon who goes by the Lord, but most dragons do have like honorific names. You take this stuff, and are you gonna like sprinkle a little bit out towards the entrance of the space?
yeah.
That's it.
So
Sprinkling. What is that?
you see Knuckles. What am I?
Numlock.
Numlock pull out, and she starts going like skittering around. She's like, some here, some here, some here, and it's this salt. It looks like salt, and she looks like she's salting like a special circle around
it-
you guys.
Does it look like the same salt that was the component for the alarm spell?
Make a nature check. That wasn't salt, for what it's worth.
It was
Oh, sorry. What?
No, yours. Well,
Sorry.
I believe that your character believes that it's salt.
Yes.
We went over the fact
It's
that
a
it's
sweat
not,
and tears
also,
of the Lord.
They're talking about two different things.
Yeah. Well, I got it. Can I have advantage just for funsies?
No,
Worth asking.
It's 8. Always worth asking.
with an 8, I would say it doesn't seem to be the same thing, but hard to tell. I mean, you can't really remember. It turned into ash in front of you, and Didn't get a great look at it.
Is it a full moon with a twinkle in its eye? Can I get advantage?
I was trying to be extra cute.
Are we resting? Because I feel like
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're just. But I'm just really.
Sure.
What is
Make that an advantage.
What is? Oh, you're makeup.
Natural 20.
With the natural 22, things become
Why'd you
very
whisper
apparent.
that?
First, as
know,
you are
dramatic.
sitting there and you are kind of looking around, you recognize that unlike a lot of areas, and actually similar to many of the pockets and caves that you've seen, there is not just greystone here. There are little blue shimmers, and as you kind of look up and you adjust your head a little bit, metallic flecks within it would reveal that this is probably turquoise with some kind of metallic inclusion. But you also notice this kobold is sprinkling crushed mica of some kind, a very unusual kind, claiming that it's salt across the threshold. And it does seem vaguely magical.
Where did you get that?
And from within the hole, you just hear,
That's very interesting. It is magical.
Okay.
tell me. I'd like to know more about your lord. Have you ever seen your lord?
Yeah.
Where
We
does your
feed our
live?
Lord.
Where does your lord live?
make a persuasion check.
We feed our lord.
I bet you do.
That'll be just a 24.
Just a 24. He looks at you and kind of looks at you with all of your iconography, and you seem very earnest to them, and they feel a kind of kinship with you, and they tell you,
The Lord is within the Rhyolite Terrace. And we go and we feed him.
Do I know where the Rhyolite Talus is?
the Rhyolite Talus. I would say make a nature check.
Oh, we're in a
With
talus
your
right now.
natural 20,
Yeah.
you recognize that talus is a kind of cave and rhyolite is a kind of stone. And so they are speaking of a very, in the same way that the Candlestick Forest is the name of a forest, this is probably a very particular cave.
It's interesting.
What kind of check you want me to make? Nature?
Yeah.
All right, 20, dirty.
This is not a place or a city in the way that you might be thinking or a place on a map. This is probably a region in the Underdark.
So, another talus that far down. That's interesting. How long has your lord been there?
Long time, generations, clutches and clutches ago. But he wasn't always the Lord. The Lord.
What color? Do I know anything about dragons and that they have different colors?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty commonly known.
What color is your lord? Of which dragon type is your lord?
The kobolds kind of look at each other, and you look at this gray kobold across from you, and this kobold looks at this gray kobold, and you're not quite sure.
Pickles is
In the dark,
gray.
almost everything is a shade of gray to you guys. Pickles is the lone green kobold, and so stands out very much. But turns to you and just kind of says,
gray.
Okay. In the dark. Underground. Isn't that odd for dragons? Aren't they normally above ground?
Well, maybe it's.
I don't know. I've only heard stories of them flying.
Maybe we can marinate on this while we rest.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you feed your lord. What do you feed your lord?
Alina, Alina says
Feed your
while we
lord.
rest, hands the ring to Minka and goes, whoop, and Alina is gone.
The Lord gets fed by us. Yeah.
What do you feed your lord?
Meat.
Okay.
No more questions.
All right, no further questions. Thank you. It's horrifying.
The Lord likes goblins. The Bungle Grungle boys. But pretty much any kind of meat.
Okay.
I bet goblins are better. Goblins are good eating.
Mm.
Lords love goblins.
The Lord.
so, who is taking the first watch?
So Minka said she'd stay up for an hour
Okay.
to do a short rest, and then if no one suddenly wakes up or becomes clearly possessed or anything, she'd probably then start and go to bed.
Okay.
That was her plan.
Just staying up.
So I'll stay up.
Okay.
I'll take the first watch. for like 4 hours,
Okay.
and then Ori will take. Then I'll trance, and Ori will take the next rest. Watch.
Okay. So
Two hours into Ori's watch, Alina will pop out of her ring, and then he can like wake her up after she's been fully rested.
okay.
You can only stay in your ring for X period of time.
For 2 times.
So what I'm hearing broadly is Valis, Minka, Toes, and Numlock are beginning watch number 1. Some of you are going to sleep in the middle. Alina is waking up just after watch number 2 starts with Ori, and so Alina and Ori are on watch 2 right now.
Yes.
Anybody else, and then who is on the third watch?
Can Alina summon Rez while she's in the ring?
Yeah.
During the course of her
You
rest?
certainly can.
I suppose Billy will be part of the third watch, as Billy is the final person.
There we go. Okay. So Valis, Minka, Toes, and Numlock are going to stay awake. You hear Fat Tanko already kind of echoing, snoring in their little hole. It seems so you would know, Fat Tanko, this is their day off. This is like Saturday for them, and you guys are out on patrol. You came and like interrupted him, and he's just going back to sleep. For the rest of you, Valis and Minka. You go ahead and you're at the very edge of taking exhaustion, and so almost instantly you fall asleep, no problem. Valis, can you make at advantage a wisdom saving throw?
Let's see. Oh, and for what it's worth, I would position myself in the middle so that everyone is within my aura.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw 21.
21. You dream, and at the periphery of your dream, there is a pale green light that sifts through glass windows, and it feels familiar. And then you just kind of doze off. And for what it is, it's just a very pleasant moment. And that's all. Minka, can you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
I sure can.
Can you make it flat?
Sure can.
I tried.
No, you're doing good.
And does Valis's effect
Yeah,
+3.
+3.
+3? Okay, because
Also,
I assumedly failed.
We would have been fucked either way.
14.
It's become a common theme.
I have a couple.
There was no right answer.
I have
There
a
was no right
question.
answer.
Yeah.
How it goes though?
Let's see.
I still think we made the right call.
We did our best.
There's my. What's the thing?
The Lord will protect you.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are worried about. The Lord is here.
Like there's
Think about
there's
that, Valis.
magical Micah.
Minka. You wake up. You're a little sweaty, which is not uncommon since Lot keeps the house especially warm with the stove always ready to run, a kettle for a wayward traveler. And so you walk out, kind of pushing open the doors, carefully stepping across the thin carpet that at one time might have been a regal prize. Lot received it in exchange for helping somebody new settle in, and press the door open. It's unlocked, as expected, and you slip out onto the street. Your feet find the natural stone work to form an even street that runs out through other stone buildings with flat roofs and a variety of semi-precious pieces worked into the walls and doorways to this grand view. Below, a valley stretches across your vision all the way to the distant mountains, and as the cool night air rushes across you, as you draw closer to the cliffs that peek out from the caves of the Enclave proper, you catch a glint of blue and amber that marks the brilliant progress of the beetle train in the distance. You just missed it, but the peaceful night valley brings some calm to your heart that you didn't realize was beating a little fast. And suddenly, you feel your heart stop as the darkness of the astral eclipse is torn away, and as if its gloomy ever-dusk was sucked across the horizon, in its place explode across the inky black sky stars. Not just the night sky of Everest, Minka, you see the sky beyond the sky. You see stars without count, and now you recognize a few of them. You see the drunkard's chalice, which you recognize as the same points of light that form celestial wings behind you in the chalice form. You recognize the Fagard bolt, which mimics the points of light that become your bow and arrows in the form of the archer. You even see Bahamut's gates, the dragon form that you got to use exactly one time, glowing in the sky above. Every star has its own faint radiance of a different color, and the longer that you stare, the more that you see, until all that you can see is thousands of swirling galaxies in the never-ending expanse of the astral sea above. And you sleep.
Sleep?
So am I sleeping, you said?
Yeah. Or you're trancing, sorry.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
Maybe trans.
Valis and Minka, you can mark off a long rest.
Lovely.
She's had visions before.
Minka, this is almost exactly the vision that you had before. It just started a little earlier, and there was that feeling of the beating heart that was different. That didn't feel good, but everything else, that was relaxing, that was easing, that was nice. So that is the first watch. Could you make a perception check, please, as you are on watch?
Oh, sure.
Numlock? Toes makes a perception
great.
check as well.
Can I just make a note that I summoned Rez in the first hour?
Yeah.
So he'll be around.
No problem.
Everyone can see
You said
Numlock just like starts leaning to the side and like leaning deeper and deeper until her head reaches the floor. Cause I rolled a 4.
And you begin your long rest a little early. It like is now left with really for a brief time just Toes, and Toes sees that you falls asleep and just goes, oh, and kind of cuddles over and puts this really thin blanket over you, and they just sit there and try to keep watch, and they seem to be pretty on guard. They stay on the other side of this shimmer scare, the stuff that you put down, knowledgeable about its effects, and they seem to just watch. There's a point where anybody else who was awake, if anybody did stay so, would have seen that they maybe heard something, but nothing happens, and the watch passes without issue. Valis, you wake up after 4 hours. And so briefly, you interact with Toes, who just goes, shh, and like points over to the other kobold who's fallen asleep. It is just them up. But you and
Sleep apnea.
you need 4 hours, correct?
I need 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay. So Alina, you wake up right as Ori begins their watch as well. Toes will stay awake for this. Toes is they're working, and so they're gonna stick on their patrol. Is there anything that you're doing while you're taking your watch?
Just keeping a super, super close, like extra hard close watch on everybody, especially Billy.
Sure. So you pop out, and instantly Rez goes, "Oh man, really?" and kind of looks around.
Oh yeah, and I before I came, like once I summoned him before like going to sleep, I would have gotten him caught up.
Okay, yeah. Still a little disappointed to have like only gotten to be out in like the open air for probably like a day.
Sorry, buddy.
But no problem. You take your watch, make a perception check, and then Ori will make a perception check as well. Not great, but I think Ori has a
13.
perception. 13. So 19 for Ori. You begin to wait. You hear the snoring of Fat Tanko, which is shortly joined by the snoring of Numlock. There's kind of this little chorus kind of wheezing through the elements of stone here. You see Minka toss and turn just a little bit. Valis just trances.
Are we trans?
Oh, he's transing. And shortly after that, he wakes up feeling well rested. Valis and Minka. Alina,
Yeah.
you sleep without issue.
Nice.
Maybe. In this kind of dream state, every now and then you feel this of like a pulse. Something is going to happen, something is going to start, but it's like the lights never get turned on and you don't get to see what it is. But you can mark off a long rest from your rest.
Fine.
I'll do it, but I won't
I'll
like
do it, but I won't like it.
I'm going to say Ori succeeds as well. And so your watch, after you do that, after the rest of the group takes their sleep, you have your watch pass without issue. You hear no sounds. You hear nothing scampering outside. You don't really hear stuff like shifting around. You're kind of like waiting to hear a collapse behind you and nothing follows. And your watch passes without issue, which leaves Billy. And Toes is kind of tired at this point, so Toes is going to just kind of yawn and just look at you, Billy, and say, "Good luck." And they tuck themselves in and they go to bed.
It's just.
And so it's Billy and it's Billy and Valis, I believe.
Right.
So Billy, make a perception. Actually, so this is going to be a wisdom saving throw. This is for the part while you're asleep.
Say deception check. Oh, yeah, gladly. Wisdom save?
Yeah,
Plus 3.
17.
that is a failure.
Bill Dog.
It's also possible
Fail.
because
Her DC might be higher because
Billy,
Haggity McHagatha.
Because of
a dog.
thunder and lightning and rain. When you went to sleep, you were already in a place that you didn't want to be, but as you hear owls hooting through this rain and somewhere far away a crow cawing a disapproval, Billy, you hear water hitting rotting wood in the mud, and it is familiar to you. You step quickly, quicker than you ought to, as you're almost late for dinner, and you do not want to be late, but you'll make it. Suddenly, as you skip over a log, a narrow rift in the ground rips across. And you fall within. And as you fall, it opens further and further into a crevasse that cracks down, and you tumble, kind of bouncing off rocks and rocks. And you feel a jolt of white-hot pain and feel the bone pop as your ankle rolls over itself violently. And then on top, more thunder, and the rain picks up. You look up and you are in a deep hole that presses in, and your ankle unable to push. What do you want to do?
Billy struggles for a little bit and feels like frustration and tears running down her face as she tries to pull herself free.
The rain picks up, and you find yourself still stuck. This is like any dream that you've had where you pull, and your strength is just gone. It is like you have nothing there. You can't move. The mud grows softer underneath your feet, and it pisses you off at first, but when you shift your feet to keep the pins and needles from setting in, the water begins to fill your boots, and you realize this hole is filling. The rain above makes this 18 feet of earth slick, and as your hands try to reach around to pull yourself out, there's nothing really to grab onto. And slowly, the unrelenting pelt of rain is causing the mud to begin to trickle down as well. Were you doing anything different?
Billy starts panicking and starts screaming for help.
So you scream for help, and that echoes here, and the only answer is this, as a huge chunk of mud slides from the top and hits you hard in the thigh. This almost pins you against the rocks that are next to you and tugs you a little deeper into the mud. And you realize that the suction of this mud has you all but trapped. The rain begins to pick up again. Make a perception check, Billy.
Using my current modifier.
Yes.
17.
Faster and faster, this hole begins to fill in as the wind howls and the rain comes down. In the darkness and the wetness, you begin to lose your senses, and even the successive micro collapses, the little bits that shift and move, now bearing you up to your hips, it almost feels like Alberon itself is squeezing you tighter and tighter. The earth rises up and presses around you, making it hard to breathe until the mud behind you begins to slide forward along with the rest of the hill, and you feel the pressure squeeze the oxygen out of your lungs and trapping you, and your eyes go blurry, and though you squint and time slows down, for the first time, you're not alone. And then suddenly, Billy, the world spins as a nearby tree loses its hold in the ground, the trunk in half, and the entire root structure flips, and the hill and you go with it. And suddenly, Billy, you are freed. And whatever it was, you didn't quite catch a glimpse of it. So close. But Billy, for the first time, as you kind of fade into the blackness of sleep, you weren't alone that time. But you sleep. Make a Constitution saving throw, Billy. Cool.
Did you do the plus from Val's?
Do I get a plus to con?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
13.
13.
Don't know if it'll help.
That does help. Billy, you wake up and you feel rested, but just on the cusp of not. You imagine if you had woken up any later in that dream, you would have been exhausted upon waking. You were maybe 3 minutes away. That was very good positioning there. So
do I get
Paladin.
you can mark off. No, so if you took a long rest, you can mark off a long rest.
Yeah, wait, paladins are my new favorite class. Wait a second.
It's not a huge modifier, but it's everything in that radius. Ours are great.
Yeah.
It's about the radius, guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the range, okay?
The range blows.
Yeah, how many encounter maps are longer than 6 feet? Anyways,
Sucks.
you kind of finish your long rest, Billy, and though you don't find it especially restful, mechanically it functions so. And all of you at this point have taken a long rest. And would imagine, 1 second here.
Does that include Numlock?
Yeah, you fell asleep during the second watch.
I did. I'm looking at the floor right now.
You imagine that up above, it is probably late in the day or later in the evening of the 29th of Summertide still. You are racing towards probably about 8 p.m. when you wake up.
Immediately upon waking up, Billy casts on detection.
I turn to Old Tanker and I say, we thank you for your hospitality and letting us share your cave. Do you have, I'd like to offer you some beer. Do you have any containers that I can kind of give you some beer?
You can see the kobolds kind of crowd around, they look at you, and they kind of like, and in Draconic, this one goes, "Do you know what beer is?"
No.
Well, you will.
Turns and just, you can see Fat Tanko just goes, "What's beer?"
Let's see.
Can you eat it?
Maybe
You drink it.
Drinking is eating, but harder, but okay. You can see like Fat Tanko like squirms his way out of the hole. Kind of like,
Is there any kind of water's holding receptacle in his home?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, definitely not. And yeah, he makes his way up, and he just kind of goes, "Hang on." Makes his way over and back into his little cubby and reaches into the very back and pulls something out. And weirdly, this looks very much like a bag of holding, almost identical. And he takes it out and drags it out and just says, "How much burr?"
We'll make alcoholics of you. Yeah.
4 gallons.
How much bear can fit in?
The clutch accepts.
Oh.
That's not much. That's okay. And he takes the bag and tucks it back in.
What are you pouring it out of one bag of holding into another?
Well, I'm pouring it out of a flask,
Oh, okay.
and it could just make beer. Trying to thank them for their hospitality.
Alina is gonna. She's very distracted, but when she notices, she goes into her mess kit and pulls out whatever little cup she has in there and just hands it.
I have some cups too, I guess. I would pour them some beer for them to drink.
Just pour out some cups. So no problem. Fat Tanko takes this big tankard of beer and looks at it and just kind of
I pour myself some and I just go.
looks at you and just kind of goes, "The Lord protects."
The Lord protects.
Make a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
You're asking Knuckles too? Whatever.
Yeah.
Get our guides drunk.
Natural 20. But I decide for that natural 20, can I get drunk?
Yeah. So you take a first sip of this, and there are 3 very different reactions that happen from all of the kobolds. Fat Tanko chugs it all down, all of the portion that they're given, and just burps and just goes, "That's terrible." But they finish it, no problem.
Thanks.
You watch as Toes chugs the entire thing down, just goes, "That's great! I want more!" And then you watch as Knuckles pounds the whole thing, and how do you react?
Yeah, I'm Knuckles now. Numlock, aka
Numlock, sorry.
Knuckles.
Yeah, you keep saying
But I
Knuckles.
keep saying Knuckles because I can't. Knuckles is just like,
This is the elixir of life. Thank you, my lord.
And she'll like
We
bow
thank your
down.
Lord.
The Lord. This is a gift from the Lord.
As we're all kind of like pulling ourselves together, minus the bit where she was like, Alina is mostly focused on Billy.
Okay.
And at an opportune moment when it seems like nobody's really paying attention to them, she's gonna sidle up, as is her wont, and be like, Billy, I didn't have a bad dream, but it felt weird. Did you dream?
Billy kind of looks a bit shell-shocked. Yeah.
Are you okay?
No.
Is it the hags? Like this coven, not the aunties.
Just everything is bad.
Okay, what can I do?
I'd like to get out of here.
Okay,
No, just out.
we're going. We're going like now. And we're just gonna clear out some monsters. You love killing monsters. Yeah, so that'll be nice. And then we'll get out to the surface and get back to the business of killing hacks, right? Okay.
From the entryway of this place, you could see Toes, who just goes,
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, come on, guys. Oh, I
Alina's
feel
gonna,
great.
Gonna like
he just kind of stumbles out.
Alina is going to reflexively grab Billy's hand and then realize what she did and then just keep holding it unless Billy pulls it away. Okay, right, sorry.
Billy, it's kind of limp.
Okay. Just to like guide, nothing weird.
Billy kind of like shakes it off after a little bit.
The kobolds lead you out. A little louder than you remember them being. But
Consequences.
Hey, have I told you guys about the Lord?
Can I?
Alina is having flashbacks to session 1 Alina and being like, oh my god, is that what I'm like?
He's got sharp teeth.
Actually, really close.
Yeah, okay, well, I've changed.
Do you?
It's great.
Does he have like a frill?
A frill?
Frill? Like spiky bits on his
The
head?
fuck is that? Flappy bits?
Yeah.
Yeah, he flaps.
Okay.
Mika's going to like try to like construct a vision of this dragon because I don't think she's ever seen a dragon, has maybe heard some stories about dragons.
so far you've
Vague
heard
concept.
he's called the Lord,
Yeah.
and he's flappy, and he's gray. So,
And
and he lives in a cave.
Do I know that like
good.
dragons are like chromatic bad, metallic good?
Make a history check.
Is that a D&D thing?
It's a D&D thing.
It's a D&D
Dirty 20.
Classic racism thing that
Yeah.
may or may not exist in Joe's world.
So,
Also, Kobold Bad is also a D&D thing.
yeah.
yeah.
So
Oh,
we're like,
I was bad?
No, you're not.
fine.
That's the thing.
in D&D, kobolds are inherently evil,
I did
but
see
in
lawful
Joe's
evil.
Game, nothing is inherent.
Joe's game has nuance.
Yes.
Don't say that dirty word here. Everybody is either American or a bad guy. No, sorry, I lost my place there for a second.
Dirty 20.
Dirty
history
20.
check.
So, with a Dirty 20, thinking about dragons and what you know about them, you are aware of the fact that most of the dragons throughout recorded history are bad. There was something called the Age of Dragons, which preceded what is known as the Age of Civility. And the reason that it was called the Age of Civility is because dragons were no longer there. It was kind of seen as like the dawn of relative peace on most of the world, barring a few places. And so most dragons have a bad rap. There was a dragon in ancient, like the very beginning of the Third Age, who was a platinum dragon, or perhaps a silver dragon, depending on who you ask, but they were seen as good, and they lived in the continent known as Darby. Outside of that, you've never really heard of a good dragon. And so maybe, the only good one that you know of is metallic. All the rest are bad and they're not metallic. And so you can make of that what you want. Nothing firm, though.
Is your dragon gray or gray shiny?
The Lord. The
Is the Lord gray or gray shiny?
Lord.
draconic. He just goes, it's kind of wet.
Kind of, yeah.
It's shiny.
Shiny?
Shiny. Turns in common, goes, shiny.
That translation might not be right.
Very good.
Are we sorkening? Are we like doing a walk and talk?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So they start walking.
Yeah.
Sorkin.
And they're making their way over, and they lead. And so Toes turns around at this, and he just goes, "Okay, guys, so we have to be really sneaky. It's important, and pay good attention. Hey, pay good attention. That's important. And I'm not sure why, but I think things change because I'm keep stumping my toes. And I only have 2." And he just is like moving around, and he is stumbling every now and then because he is mechanically drunk.
Let me help.
You said I think things changed, and I was like, oh my god, no.
Here,
He's drunk.
let me help with the stumbling. Is alcohol a poison effect?
It is.
Lay on hands, 5 points. Remove poison.
I don't know if this is better.
Was it a gift? I'm starting to think it wasn't a gift.
It was a gift from what the Lord I believe in to help with the stumbling.
Hey, my
As you
feet
walk,
work.
you won't stumble anymore.
Kinda
No, I'm
just
thinking
hops
the
up.
burr wasn't a gift. It was a poison.
You liked it.
Oh no, I'm having a great time.
Not everybody loves it, but most people do.
Okay. So,
It's like Shimmer Scare makes goblins poop.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
Has Mika heard them call the Magic Micah Shimmer Scare before?
It's probably the first time you're hearing them say that.
Yeah, okay. Because Alana knows that connection, but I don't know if Mika knows that connection. Because that would be a very interesting factor to put in her mental.
I would say, Minka, I mean, you heard them yell that they were going to put down Shimmer Scare, so you can probably make that connection. You saw them, sprinkling up that kind of crushed
Okay.
mica.
Just very, very interesting aspect of that Micah.
Yeah, definitely. So they turn and they go, so when we go down, you gotta be quiet. And the Raz, they can tell when you're walking. And so if you can any of you fly? Or a sticky? Pickle sticky.
I can fly, but I'd rather save it because
Okay.
I can't do it very often.
Well, just be careful, because they know vibrations.
Okay. Oh. Like this, right? And I do little tippy toes.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. Can I, if we're making stealth checks, can I help Billy up hers? Is that a thing? Like show her where to put her feet, or like help her keep her clanking down?
It's hard. How are you helping keep the clanking down?
Just kind of like pointing out spots and like maybe like moving things so that they're cushioned in a way that they weren't before.
If you want to take a -2 to your stealth check, you definitely can do that.
Sold.
Sure. So take a -2 to your stealth check, whatever you roll, and then Billy, make your check at advantage.
So flat.
Yeah.
Stealth checks.
Yeah. Stealth checks all around.
For a total of dirty 20.
Nice. That's so amazing. Toes turns to you and just goes, "Come on, we're gonna show him how it's done." And he crouches down and rolls a total of 5.
Drunk.
You rolled so high the first time. Very nice. So with Alina's help, kind of like showing you where to step, you are silent here. And you watch as Toes every now and then just turns around and goes, "Shh, you guys gotta be quieter," and is probably the loudest person.
Shouting it.
I mean, not shouting. He's not drunk anymore, but he's definitely like a little hyper vigilant. So great thing about cure poison and disease, no hangover. Yeah, very nice. So ching. They lead you down this tunnel. Did anybody roll below a 15?
I did.
What was your
11.
check? 11, okay. Anybody else?
Oh, I did not even roll. No, I didn't.
Okay.
Disadvantage. The other roll was a 20.
The natural 20 offsets
you, but I would-
Toes' 5. Alina, you did a dirty 20. Who's doing 11? It was Valis. Valis. The rest of the group stays relatively quiet, and every now and then Toes just goes, "Hey!" and that startles you, and it kind of makes a rattling sound. And so you and Toes together making the most noise. It's really a combined poor stealth check.
Guys, we did it together.
You did. And as you make your way down, the rest of you are aware of the fact that you're making a good amount of noise. Who has a passive perception of above 18?
Oh,
Billy?
I have 18.
Beats it.
Yes, I also have 18.
Minka and Billy. The two of you, as you are walking, and every now and then you hear Toes just go, "Hey, come on." There is a moment where he says, "Hey, come on." And there's like a little in the distance.
What was that?
Hey, shh.
Did you hear something?
Hey.
I ready in action first to slash at anything that pops out of the dirt.
You ready in action?
What?
What skitters in the dark?
Raz.
I heard it.
What?
He pulls out his tiny little spear. And he's like looking around now.
Res, like, do they have a lot of legs or no legs?
They have.
And then as he's talking, all of a sudden you can see this huge creature just really fast, moving about close to 100 feet just in an instant. As it moves using these scythes to climb along the ceiling, it drops down. It takes both sides, and you watch as Numlock is bisected. And because it is 10 o'clock, that is what But thank you for sticking with us for this session of Adventures in Auburn. Thank you so much for sticking with us and for being no, it's an arc that works out perfectly and ties in great. We're going to be back next week, although Numlock will not be back next week.
I'm dead.
Living with your lord now.
The Lord did not, unfortunately.
I am with the Lord.
We're going to be back next week, but if you can't wait that long, on Sunday, we're going to re-air last night's Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign, and then this at 4:30 p.m. on Sunday. That's over at YouTube at Alberon RPG, but please stay safe. It is crazy out there. We'll see you next week.
May the Lord be with you.